Cips clips. Cips clips.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive, I'm real, I know the enemy, and if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist! Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the Infowars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double-barrel bullcrap, the double-speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Cips clips. Cips clips.
No! Alrighty, YouTubes. Another one of coughing Kips clips. God almighty. No matter how long that intro is, I always need longer. But welcome to this week's, the one and only, not the Infowars Nightly News, the original, the OG baby, alternative look at the so-called alternative media. Skeptical, away the spectacles about the so-called skeptics and watching the motherfucking so-called self-proclaimed watchmen. Welcome one and all. If you do enjoy the show, make sure you thumbs it up, you share it with your friends, family and foe. If you're here on multiple accounts, just to thumb it down, keep going. Triggered McNichols. Thumbs it down if you're a windy licker and you sound like a junkie that's had a lobotomy. Everybody else that's here for the right reasons. If you do enjoy the show, make sure you thumbs it up, you share it with your friends, your family and your foes. Help the channel and the show grow. I do rely on you guys and girls at home. And thank you very much. And remember what I do here, it's digital basking. It is all available and accessible free of charge. And even that's popping up and I don't know how, I don't know why, but it'll go away soon, hopefully. It's all available, accessible, free of charge. I'm going to do such a good job you find value in what I do and use your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. Mega thanks to those who do. Alrighty, boobtubes. I'll have a wee look at what's on the show. Say hi to those in the chat room and then we're good to go. In the evening, one and all, there's Richie, the one and only. How you doing, my man? Gas Mask in the evening, gents. How yous doing? Sunday Wolf, only a wolf on a Sunday. How you doing, Sunday Wolf? The Blazing Stars. How you doing? Blazing in the evening, guys and girls. Nice to see you in the Lazy Jesus as well. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. Hashtag Kips Clips cures cancer. I'm going to get cards printed up with that bad boy. Mad Max, oh no, Mad Mal. Vadoom Tom, how you doing, man? Roberto Rhymes, how you doing, Roberto? Old Pet River and the Gas Mask and Society of the Spectre. Gary, how you doing, buddy? In the evening, one and all. Thanks for watching. Remember, thumbs up, best YouTube podcast thingy in the universe. I don't know, I need to come up with a title of this. Video cast never really took off, I think. David Icke tried that, and it never really worked. Like, just do podcast and do video and just say, fuck it, it's a podcast. Why? Because I fucking say so. Just a video of people talking. It's a podcast. Stick cameras and microphones anywhere. Podcast! Amazing, man. You know, I seen a dog eating food out of a bowl the other day, man. I think Joe Rogan went down and went, you should do a dog cast. Boom, boom, boom. That's a Kips original. A dog cast. Poodle cast? I don't know. Variants are endless. So welcome one and also thanks for joining those folks in the chat. One's brave enough to brave the chat room. The murky troll swamp. Best start off with that. Get the shite out the way. The jobby sandwich first. And it gives you time to cleanse your palate. And then we'll speak Trump, 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 Trump. Everywhere the Twitter goes. Everybody's jism goes. Trump, 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 Trump. Anyway, and then taxi for Chunky. I just want to comment on what Chunky's now doing. His guardian angel, his light of lights, his one and only Corduroy Corbyn is no more. I'm pretty sure he had a heart attack, but they didn't report it because nobody gives a fuck about him anymore. Man, how bad would I feel if he actually was like right now having a heart attack? Almost like my voodoo powers kicked in. I'd feel guilty for 2 seconds and I'd just be like, fuck's sake, man, I'm gonna go and put a lottery ticket on, man. Something's in the air. I can feel it. No. Anyway, the 5G fear. You know, it's here. People are using it. There's 5G phones out there. Is anybody... Does the mass extinction happened? Although there's only one victim of the direct energy weapon I can see and I can report on. Max Egan. And we'll need to examine his brain, his nut, and his mushroom nose. Swear, I think that guy's took so many psychedelics, his nose has turned into a fucking mushroom. Think, what came first? Button noses or button mushrooms? Guys, fuck knows, man. But the chicken and the egg shit going on there. But check his nose out. It's almost like his nose is like aged. Oh, maybe his nose is a time traveller. Maybe his nose is in the future. Well, actually, now you think about it, your nose is kind of like a bit of a trailblazer, you know, like that breaks all the unbroken ground. Just like you lead the way with your nose. Maybe Max has just been travelling so fast that his fucking nose has just aged that wee bit more than the rest of his face. But we'll have a look at some of the 5G fear that's still out there. Jabba the Jihadi. I just wanted to laugh at that, and that sounds like something I would come up with, but it's a genuine kind of headline that was getting propagated. Anyway, and an Irish dude speaks about politics in Ireland. Shock horror. Yeah, it's just again, each to their own. This guy can love Trump, hate Trump. It's just sitting there calling himself a nationalist while pumping out 99.99999% Trump and Brexit coverage or content on his channel that's called Computing Forever. Wasn't he? It's kind of oxy. I mean, you got to love these people in the truth movement, in the truth for industrial complex that are all about the truth. Yeah, what's your real name? I can't tell you that. Computing Forever. How long were you computing for? Well, until Trump convinced me that I was fighting the New World Order or the Old World Order or the jihadis. I don't know, the cultural Marxists from the left. Anyway, Joe Rogan. As I said, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. I watch some of his stuff, a lot of his content, the ones that tickle my fancy. And I don't want to, like, I don't know. And I'm not just I'm not even poking fun at him as such. I'm trying to point that like a lot of shows on the internet, radio, on the new media, and every version they come at you. If you watch them for long enough, you can see their editorial stance and where they stand on. But I believe you can, like you can with the BBC, like you can with ITV, like you can with Channel 4, like you can with CNN, like you can with Fox. Over a prolonged period of time, the shit they put out paints a picture of where they're coming from and who they're backing and all that jazz. My argument is all this new media, because it's a podcast of rich and famous people sitting about having a fucking joint and a smoke. That's the in of authenticity. You know, they seem authentic because they are authentic. They're just dudes, normal dudes. Yeah, that's what bores me out a wee bit about it, man. It's just like, hey, dude. Sometimes, did you see this thing on the internet, man, with this cat? It's fucking 4 cats. hey man, oh, look at this man, and they just all like all stoned out their box, like wow, like I live that. I don't watch that on a fucking podcast 24/7. But anyway, I digress. Each to their own. But just this, and it's not just on Joe Rogan's either. His just happens to be the most popular one in the world. All these podcasts that are popping up with that, all the famous people who were once on TV now doing podcasts, and now, oh, he's doing a podcast. He's authentic now, you know. And Joe Rogan was the trailblazer, and he's a massive platform. So much so that he's got, he's got like I've got a clip of this. He's got the chief executive, fucking assistant executive or something. Somebody very high up in TikTok. People probably know what TikTok is more than me. But they're run by the Chiners. It's a Chinese company, and they're trying to make big, massive inroads in a social media game, which apparently they are doing with the youth. And they're trying to get on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's knocking them back. But anyway, I'll get into that more detail later on. Pepsi Max Igan, talk about some of the stuff he's put out recently. Tommy Robinson, not Nazi enough. And again, I'll play the clip of Jim Dawson talking about back in the BNP. He's not a fan of the BNP, but he'll back the BNP. We'll raise £6 million for them. Not because we like them, but because we want to nudge everybody over to the right a wee bit. Right? And then, like, he's openly admitting the Machiavellian mechanisms they're willing to use to obtain their political objectives. And then people laugh. Well, not everybody, but some people laugh and mock and don't even entertain my theory or my idea that from Tommy Robinson and all the outcasts that are now the ultra-Nazis away from the Nazi light, Tommy Robinsons, Nazis in a dress, Tommy Robinson mob, like, they think my idea that both these groups have been created to steer on, this ties in with Joe Rogan as well. Please tell me I've got this in a clip where Joey Diaz is saying something I've been saying for ages, that nowadays it's cool to be conservative, whereas when I was young, kids wouldn't even comprehend that for 1 wee second. And this switch hasn't happened accidentally or just a genuine pendulum effect. It's the right are winning the argument within the youth circles, and typically you win political arguments with propaganda light, let's just say. But the way that they've steered the conversation, that's the way I can see that you can steer the narrative and people's attention, is by steering the debate. You're not even really making people's mind up about things, but on the forefront of everybody's discussion is now immigration. Whereas back in the day it wouldn't have been, it would have been down the pile. You know, people wouldn't have seen it as such a prominent issue, if that makes sense. But we'll get into that later on. And then they sort of get the Tommy Robinson not Nazi enough and the Tommy Robinson Nazi light. And then a wee clip from No More Jews News. I wonder what he's talking about. I wonder what crimes he's uncovered and if they're coming from a particular source. Interesting that. So say hi to folks in the chat and then get into it. Jesus, Stewie, Blazing, Richie, the artist formerly known as Tony, the Dot in the Evening, gents, how he's all doing, Gas Mask, and Vadum, aka Tom Roberto Rhymes as well. So in the evening, one and all, thanks for joining. Let's get on with the bullcrap. Right, what button do I need to push? Right, let's see. Again, so the all the independent individuals who go after folk in packs are now going after Andy Devine. What is that his name? Was it Andy Devine? Now, I don't know how much time you can be arsed wasting on this shite. If it's not your particular bag of lunacy, Freeman of the land and all that jazz, then you probably won't even find it hard to tune in for more than 2 seconds. But I'm yet to find out the crime of this guy and why everybody's so content on doing what they're doing within this network and targeting them. Because I can't figure it out. The Miss Worldwide is Sparkle's account. What's this? Alright, Flow Destroyer. Again, just a wee coincidence. Oh no, I thought this was about Andy Devine. Somehow it is. Get some. Maybe I'm tripping. Shit, I thought that was Andy Devine. Is John Patterson and Andy Devine no pals or something? Oh no, hold on, there you go. The name of the clip that he's shown a clip of is named Andy Devine something. Which you can't see there. But you can't see. If you see Andy Devine and John Patterson plan to use fake police to abduct members of Hoaxstead. What kind of fucking bizarro shit is that? Fake police to abduct people. And what's happened to the world? Now, here what you'll find is another member of the network, OG Wankanobi, and him and fucking Freddy or some shit. Can't remember. He's fucking Freaky Friday or something. No, Freddy. They seem to be the American wing who go after the folks in America. Now, again, unless you want to sit and watch endless hours of a conspiracy loon, Titus Frost, talking about conspiracies, then I find it hard to find his crime other than he believes in some conspiracies that these people believe through their magnum PI powers that they can cast ironly prove that aren't true. So you're not welcome to your fucking opinion, arsehole. I need to fucking change your mind. You know, that's their attitude and that's their approach to this. And if I can't change your mind, I'm going to fucking stir up just a little fucking wee harem of fucktards online to try and come along and make your life a living hell because you believe in a conspiracy I think you shouldn't be able to believe in. And that's kind of this fucking network's fucking attitude. And I know this through first-hand experience. Still to this day, do not know what my crime was. Daring to say to fucking, what's his face, Brian Harvey, I wasn't Flow Destroyer, or daring to say I had sympathies for Sabine McNeil for being a crazy old woman who believed in conspiracies who got 20 years shoved up her arse. But daring to say that seems to like put a crosshair over you, and then the whole wee everybody that talks to each other relentlessly on fucking in this network, the community that Flow's building, but they're not building, it's not a network or anything, get targeted and came after. I witnessed it with, who was that cunt? 007. And what they done to that cunt, it was sick and twisted what they done to him. And they were all sitting around laughing and giggling it like a wee fucking group of fucking hyenas. A little pack of fucking hyenas patting themselves on the back. Who's Plisco's new boyfriend, Matt Taylor, coming in last week and being shocked and surprised that I didn't know who fucking Ricky from EastEnders' fucking name was or who he was. Right? And then getting a message from Mackenzie's Devils. I thought I'd retired, but obviously not. Saying, big bad mistake, pretending you... I don't need to pretend anything, you fandans. And like, what you're trying to do is somehow get me wrapped up in this Hampstead shite which I've never been a part of, and you just can't create fucking well, you're trying to create shit out of thin air, and this is the scary thing which I'm witnessing. They provoke, bully, and harass people. Film these people fucking reacting. Try and paint them as lunatics. They provoke people, bully and harassing them using illegally obtained files from some of the fucking backward mentalists that are in their network that are stupid enough, fucking targeted and fucking went after. I'm now sitting thinking, like, Sabine McNeil, how much was she fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Provoked into acting like a lunatic that she did? Because let me tell you something, they get off and trying to portray themselves as these satanic paedophiles to a bunch of conspiracy people who are fucking have a paranoid delusion that the world is fucking ran with satanic paedophiles, and they think it's funny. And then they go and work in the fields of helping people with mental health and stuff after fucking engaging and actively trying to destroy motherfuckers like that online. I mean, but hey ho. Live stream. Anyway, so six puppies, and now because Titus Frost believes in the deep state Illuminati conspirative narratives, because he believes Alex Jones, because he believes all the fucking shit that's out there, he's now deemed worthy of targeting by the network, by all their brothers and sisters and fathers in the network. Anyway, and what one's that that's unavailable? Can't fucking remember. But anyway, the murky troll swamp, stay out it. Right, just fucking find out who they are and deal with them appropriately. And all in good time, man. So, anyway, as I said, let's fucking get the jobby sandwich out the way. How do you rinse a jobby sandwich out your mouth? A bit of trump. Everywhere the Twitter goes, everybody's jism goes.
Back. When I spoke at this forum 2 years ago, I told you that we had launched the Great American Comeback.
Don't call it a
Today,
comeback!
I'm proud to declare that the United States is in the midst of...
I think his dentures nearly fell out there. Look.
The Great American Comeback. Today, I'm proud to declare that the United States is in the midst of an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen before. We've regained our stride, rediscovered our spirit, and reawakened the powerful machinery of American enterprise.
What you're going to say of our military there?
America is thriving,
straight out there.
America is flourishing, and yes, America is winning again like never before. Just last week alone, the United States concluded 2 extraordinary trade deals. The agreement with China and the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, the 2 biggest trade deals ever made. They just happened to get done in the same week.
Oh man, you've never seen a world leader come out and just act like a corporate mafioso don before Donald Trump. And like, I don't know, got to respect him. Just like, here, look, this is what we're doing: protection money, taking back over economically. Fuck you, China. Fuck the rest of these.
These agreements represent a new model of trade for the 21st century, agreements that are fair, reciprocal, and that prioritize the needs of workers and families. America's economic turnaround has been nothing short of spectacular. When I took office 3 years ago, America's economy was in a rather dismal state.
We all need
Under the previous
to laugh.
administration, nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs had vanished. Wages were flat or falling. Almost 5 million more Americans had left the labor force.
And
Today, I'm very proud of myself.
I bet you are, Donald.
Then had gotten jobs, and more than 10 million people had been added to the food stamp rolls. We've been so successful that the United States no longer needs to import energy from hostile nations. With an abundance of American natural gas now available, our European allies no longer have to be vulnerable to unfriendly energy suppliers either. We urge our friends in Europe to use America's vast supply and achieve true energy security. When I
I think he's talking about gas for Russia there, and all the shell stuff and all the stuff that America's drilling up now. Anyway, so there's Trump. Everywhere the Twitter goes, everybody's Jism goes. Let's have a wee
Big
look.
bang bongs, trolls for thee.
Bing
When the clock
bong.
strikes 11 p.m. on January the 30th for the City of London, the front page, Bunger Bob, so the Bin Ben Bog, and a new chapter in our great history. It's a fucking joke, isn't it? It is, they are trolling. You can't even see it anyway, the clock. It's like covered in scaffolding and tarpaulin. The front page, why? Because Fucko the Clown is back out. And according to the Daily Basket case, he's made an extraordinary plea. Bunger Bob, he said. Bunger Bob, so the Bin Ben Bog, and a new chapter in our great history. It's a fucking joke, isn't it? It is, they are trolling. You can't even see it anyway, the clock. It's like covered in scaffolding and tarpaulin. And the bonger's been taken away, like the country. There's nothing left, is there?
I don't know about you, I'll be quite honest, I haven't noticed much of a difference. Maybe in a year, maybe in a couple of years, maybe the hindsight of 5 years, I'll be able to go, right, I noticed the marked difference. But right now, I notice no difference.
The state of us. It's embarrassing. Boris emerges from...
But I think what you're failing to understand here, Mark, the polarising politics of your idol is part of the reason we're here. And some would say he could have possibly been a wolf in sheep's clothing. Just like the emblem of the Fabian Society, which he's a member of. See, it's a conspiracy.
Weeks of silence on the billionaire oligarch island in the Caribbean, Mustique, licking it, lapping it up, sweating his gammon in the sun.
Trump and Dame Edna Everett's cleavage. Or have you dreamt that? God knows, mate. It'd probably be something very easily to creep into one's dreams.
There'll be
in many ways.
In the porter cabin toilets. With this newspaper today. Never mind page 3. They'll be singing "Did Those Feet in Ancient Times Walk on This England Pleasant," sheltering from the rain in the porter cabin, from the storm. And the moment of climax, they'll be screaming. They'll be kissing their Brexit tattoo, screaming, "Bong! Bong! Bong!"
So, constantly talking about the wallopers of the Tories.
Keir Starmer is the first one through in the battle for the Labour.
God, I'm missing links. It's official. I thought I had some links with him talking about the royal family. But I've missed
the
them.
leadership. It's probably only going to be Keir, Rebecca Long-Bailey and Lisa Nandy who make it through, because I can't see Emily Thornberry or Jess Phillips getting the union back in. With Rebecca Long-Bailey winning the first round, and maybe then Lisa Nandy's votes on second preference will just edge in Keir. The deputy looks hard not to see Angela Rayner winning. I think Keir should stand down. He should stand down right now and let it be.
You need to change your lighting, Chunky. You're beginning to look like a wee bit like the Gammons you like to shout about. And he's like a good big gammon Trump face, doesn't he?
Between Rebecca Long-Bailey and Lisa Nandy. We cannot, if a man, 4 women get beat by a man, and look, Labour took votes, can you see that? Labour took voters for granted. The party must stop Johnson's nationalism. Gordon Brown. Why voters in the north turn to the Tories? 2 in 3 gloomy about opportunities in life. You're like, you what? Boris Johnson and the Tories have destroyed this country. Have taken you
Man, you need to have a disclaimer that this is just a party political broadcast for the Labour Party, you know? I mean, it's like, you know, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you're horrible for having and holding these views, but it's the whole journey that I've been on with him. When you first touched base with him, you actually thought he was a guy in a taxi just speaking truth to power. And then you realise it's just one big act. Like Mad Max Egan.
families, your children, your communities' dreams, and fill their own pockets with them. Anger as EU. Did you see the Brexit MEP yesterday? Who is going to represent us in Europe over fishing? We have no rights. You're left. You got no rights. Fucko the clown and the Tories have signed us into oblivion. You crackhead Brexit basket case gangbangers. Look, here he is, bouncing.
I want him to say gammon while he's looking dead gammon.
And look down here. Look, this is the last-ditch appeal to the Prime Minister for Big Bang Bongs to bring in Brexit. Look
Big
at him.
bong bongs bangs. He's got a Rasta flag,
He's
man.
flying fucking idiot. You voted for child poverty, 0-hour contracts, debt, misery, collapsed NHS. They're laughing every day. They wake up in their stately homes licking it, in their silk pyjamas, in their silk slippers, laughing, demonising Harry and Meghan. Anyone who dares challenge the order. Gone with the woke.
Anyway, so Chunky Mark's still about, and he's just an ordinary guy in his cab.
She was arrested at the Vancouver airport in December of 2018, accused by the U.S. government of violating sanctions on Iran. Ahead of Meng Wanzhou's extradition trial, China called for her release. They say the charges against the Huawei CFO are politically motivated.
The US and Canada are abusing the bilateral extradition agreement and arbitrarily taking coercive measures against a Chinese citizen. It's a serious political incident.
Meng's arrest stuck Canada in the middle of the tense competition between the US and China. Shortly afterward,
See for heads full of childish humour like my own. Gotta love Chinese names.
China detained 2 Canadian citizens and is still holding them on charges of spying. Meanwhile, for the past year, Meng has been under house arrest in Vancouver. Her case has added to hostility in the US-China trade war, though analysts say it reaches far beyond that.
The United States.
You should meet Meng's husband, Hung.
It's really in a wider sense.
Yeah, beautiful Meng and Hung.
Does want to constrain the growth of China.
I'm sure I've seen a movie like called
China's
that.
technological capabilities, to constrain the growth of its major companies, including Huawei. I still think they'll be pushing quite hard to try and use this case to essentially put something of a brake on the expansion of Huawei.
Meng's lawyers will be arguing that her alleged offenses are not crimes in Canada, which has no sanctions against Iran. It will likely be months before Canadian judges make a final decision on her extradition.
There was a court hearing today.
Now, you may wonder why I'm putting Huawei in the 5G fear folder. And for me, it's for obvious reasons. Huawei are leaps and bounds ahead of the West when it comes to 5G and mobile technology. You'll see right now them talking very much about all the intellectual property that China's been stealing from America, and they're pretty much talking about a lot of the electronic stuff, and the Chinese have managed to elevate that to a new level. And the West's intelligence agencies, the Five Eyes in particular, are scared and apprehensive about Huawei machinery getting rolled out within infrastructure in the whole of the West. They see it could be some sort of a backdoor in the way of listening. And they're worried about this because they're probably doing the exact same right now, and they're the ones that want to have the infrastructure. They're the ones that want to have their machines in place, but they currently don't have. They're not at the same level technology-wise when it comes to 5G as the Chinese and Huawei to roll it out tomorrow. So they need to, if not stop it, slow it down as much as possible.
Today in Vancouver, British Columbia, for Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou. Now, this hearing is to determine whether or not Meng will be extradited to the United States. Now, at this court hearing, just outside the court,
I said hung. I was close.
Many protesters. Who were these
just the one name.
Well, they looked like locals. They were all rather young, and they all had very similar signs that use messaging straight out of Huawei's video statement. Now, listen to the questions that Bob Mackin is asking these protesters. Isn't it a little bit strange that they don't have answers to even the most basic questions?
What group are you with, and why do you want Ms. Meng freed?
We just want equal justice.
Equal justice? How's equal justice? Are you aware of the extradition treaty?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of the extradition treaty or the facts of the case?
No, I'm not.
You're not, but...
protesting equal rights for my man, Mr.
So what group are you with?
Pardon?
What's the name of your group?
This is my group, not yours. Yeah, you don't have to answer anything.
You don't answer any questions? Who sent you here?
We're here.
Do you hear that? Miss Meng, Miss Meng. Well, where have I seen that before?
Which will prove Miss Meng's innocence. Huawei stands with Miss Meng in her pursuit of justice and freedom.
All of these posters, for some reason, are using the exact same messaging as the company, and it got me thinking, could these protesters be...
Oh, Tommy Robinson, talking about using the same messaging. But when the Chinese do it, it's propaganda, but when this mob do it, we'll just tell you the truth.
Be paid actors? Well, this is Huawei that we are talking about, effectively indistinguishable from a state corporation. And we know China and their love of propaganda. Well, it just so happens that Rebel News has indeed identified one of these protesters, and we're working on more. Julia Hackstaff is the first one. She is a professional actor, wouldn't you know, in Vancouver, British Columbia. She has been featured in multiple films, according to her IMDb. Here's a few excerpts from her portfolio video.
I see you got your PhD at 18, astrophysics.
Dark matter distribution in disk galaxies.
That's the stuff that makes up the universe, except we can't see it.
No, but it can be inferred by gravitational effects on visible matter.
The Reston campaign says that you lack the experience to be president.
She tried to come on to me there or something, I don't know.
What's your response to that? Congresswoman Marcus?
There was something my mother used to do whenever I started dating someone. I would tell her his name, and then she would ask, "What part of town does he live in?" That was her way of asking if my boyfriend was white.
We went through Julia Hackstaff's social media, her Tumblr, her Twitter, her Facebook, and absolutely nowhere was there any reference whatsoever of social justice, of Huawei, of China, of this hearing in particular. There was nothing. What motivates someone like that to come to a protest like this? Could Huawei in fact be paying her to do this? It seems like it's not that far off. Now you'll see here, when the cameras approach and start asking her questions, she immediately leaves. She hides.
She's a Chinese communist, paid to stand there with a sign.
Huawei represents an existential threat to the security of democracy in Canada, to our place in the Five Eyes intelligence community, and indeed to the security and privacy of all Canadians on a personal level. Huawei wants access to all of our digital information. They want to be the ones controlling access to information. As 5G becomes more and more available to Canadians, Huawei wants to make sure that they fill up that market. And it seems like Justin Trudeau is all too eager to let them have access to everything. It's already started up north with...
So, maybe it's coming into focus now with the 5G directed energy weapon fear propagated in conspiratard land was all about. And it's about East versus West when it comes to technology in and around 5G, and two entities competing to be the ones that roll out the infrastructure, to the extent where they're using all their talking heads in the independent media, from Max Igan, David Icke, Alex Jones and the rest of them, the ones that are quite happy to propagate this 5G fear bullshit, which genuinely leads to people hearing buzzings in their heads and getting knocks at the door by the people in white coats. According to the Richie Allen show, but who knows. So that's the 5G fear. Let's move on, John. Jabba the Jihadi.
Is this guy digging around in the trash?
Oh, God. So was that the New York Post? Is that no a bit of a satire bullcrap fucking thing? I don't know if it is or no. But let's see if they fucking... No.
Freaking, you know, one of those dumpsters. I thought he was like crawling around in a dumpster, and I'm like, what the hell is going on this Saturday morning? What is really going on a Saturday morning like this? And he's like kicking it like in his freaking...
Does he leave a link? Or zero hedge?
He's kicking it in his one piece inside the old
zero
dumpster
hedge in
or
a
something.
long time.
Jesus. Kicking it in the dumpster on a Saturday morning. ISIS, jihadi, Jabba the Hutt. What's going on? So yeah, apparently they caught this guy, man. This guy, get me out. This guy's named Jabba the Jihadi. Massively obese terror leader named Shifa al-Nima, known within the Islamic State as Abu Abdul Bari, has been dubbed Jabba the Jihadi.
That's almost as good as the fucking jihadi Beatles, man. I mean, who sits here and fucking... Who's sitting in the press corps in the middle of a fucking desert somewhere? Right, what will we go with? He's a fat bastard. Fucking jihadi. Jabba the Jihadi. Fucking genius. But they go with it and then it gets rolled out. Anyway, beautiful. I just wanted to put that in there because I loved the Jabba, the Jihadi. There's too many Jabbas out there. Jobby Jabbas. Jobby Stabbers. Right, where am I going? An Irishman talks about
Alright
Ireland.
guys, so very big important video for you today.
Wow. Wow, first in a life. Are you sure? Are you feeling okay?
And I'm going to be talking about the Irish general election, which is due to take place on February 8th. Now, even if you're based outside of Ireland, and even if you can't vote, please nevertheless share this video, because, I don't know, maybe there's a remote chance that in your extended friends and family, co-workers, colleagues, social network online, a network of contacts, this video might go sufficiently viral that it eventually, somewhere down the track, reaches someone in Ireland who can vote. And maybe not. But nevertheless, every signal boost counts and helps enormously. Now, there's been a snap election announced for February 8th. Just a few days ago, this was announced. Absolute joke. We have basically 3 weeks from tomorrow. And already I've noticed, a number of people have noticed, the posters for all the mainstream parties, they went up like that overnight.
Shock horror.
Coordinated? I mean, it's just a joke. We thought.
They're political parties, they're organised, they've known these dates, the possibility, as soon as the date would... What the kind of conspiracy fucking voodoo shit is this guy talking about?
The rumour initially was it was going to be May, which would have given the nationalist and patriot parties a few more months to gain momentum and traction. And this is the reason why they do this, you know? There's no point complaining, that's the way it is. We know they're going to try every...
So there's some deep state Illuminati. Right, so there's an election in Ireland, so he's going to start focusing on trying to direct everybody to vote for the Tommy Robinson mob of Ireland.
Tactic in the book to try to slow us down. It's typical, isn't it? They gave the bare minimum notice period for this general election, which is done deliberately to catch the smaller parties like the National Party and IFP and ACI and others. It gives them the bare minimum notice period to prepare for this general election, and they're caught off guard. But those are the breaks. It just means that we have to work especially hard, and it will be very difficult. Like I say, the bigger parties have the funding, their posters went up very, very quickly, and now the national parties and so forth, the Patriots are caught on the back foot.
Well, that's
and they have...
What do you want them to do?
To get out there and work very hard to coordinate. But look, nevertheless, we'll give it a great go, and we'll see what happens, and fingers crossed we can get someone elected. I'm going to go through the list of the parties running and the candidates and their constituencies. It's not a complete list by any means, so if you know of anyone else who's running and where they're running, please comment below. 15th of January. Yeah. Where are the other party leaders?
This is Irish politics. Bores me to fucking high heaven. I've got the patience of a fucking pissant with UK politics nowadays. Never mind the rest of it. So to get emotionally involved in the patriot movement in Ireland would just be stupid. But there's going to be Americans and, yeah, you go, man. Somebody said it in the chat room, another international patriot. I know. Crazy that, and it doesn't make sense. But anyway, see, before this guy, this I believe this to be a genuine sad fact. Until this guy had fallen down the rabbit hole of YouTube, he was a fucking atheist that didn't give a fuck about politics and started up a YouTube channel about computing. It says, but in his own admission, he used to be an atheist. Like a fucking... Oh... And coming straight out of Compton, I mean, coming straight out of Ireland, being an atheist, it's like... It's a quite harsh stance to take, coming from that neck of the wood. If that makes sense. And then somehow, some way, through the power of YouTube, he's been re-indoctrinated into a Christian value system. And see some of the shit he spewed. But anyway, an Irishman talks about Ireland. Now let's get into some Joe Rogan.
Well, the clueless Californian and his stoner
Joe Rogan, you look different. Oh, it's
staff have done it again. Like 3 videos ago, I did one called Joe Rogan Doesn't Know Shit. And it's because, yeah, I got triggered when he had Mike Baker on which was following Bill Maher, by the way. You know, we've had these attacks and escalation with Iran, and he gets one neoconservative opinion after another. And I thought, and I made a joke, because I didn't think you could get any dumber than what Baker was selling, blaming Iran for the Al-Qaeda insurgency in Iraq and Syria, which is it. Well, apparently it's just not gonna let me use my phone today, so.
Deep State Illuminati, not 4G connection.
Fuck it, I'll wait till I get home and we'll do this all over again. Don't worry, I'm still gonna be fucking pissed and livid.
He's talking about some of the stuff that's been put out on the Joe Rogan show. As he would say, is bullshit because he sees it as kind of like anti-Iran propaganda. But Joe Rogan doesn't have propaganda on his show. He just invites people that might say propaganda on his show, but he's not involved in it, you know. And I'm not even saying he's a bad guy, man. I think Joe Rogan comes across as a decent dude. But anyway, I'll get into that in the next wee minute. Right, 304. Can't remember what's here. Oh, I can remember.
Yeah! On pharmaceutical values, that family value. I don't know what happened. They're just thing to be. Seems like.
No. Again, I think these are just like normal dudes sitting around, having a smoke, having a drink, talking shit, recording themselves, right? They're shooting from the hip, they're speaking from the heart. They're obviously editing to a certain degree because they know that it's going out in a podcast, but I think that they're putting out their authentic thoughts and feelings, and I just want to point out something here.
It's a weird thing because in the 80s, it was like the cool thing to be a liberal, and I'm Democrat. And
I was born in the 80s. I can kind of remember this, you know. Margaret Thatcher was the devil incarnate, and anybody who dare went near a conservative or Margaret Thatcher was like, what the fuck? What's you? What are you? I mean, it was like just in the political landscape of Scotland prior to this rebirth of like the joy of nationalism and right-wing politics and nationalism. It's just the rebirth since the start of the SNP and all the Brexit stuff.
Republicans, they're just Christians. They have family values. They don't want to get high or go to heavy metal concerts. Fuck Republicans. But as you get older and you have kids, and I don't know what happened. But it seems.
You don't know what happened. There wasn't a concerted effort by people on the right wing of politics to make that spectrum of political debate seem sexy again. And then I would fast forward to all the talking heads that we've had recently. You would say grassroots or being astroturfed to the fucking positions they're in. From Milo to Count Spunkula, Alex Jones, David Icke, Gerish. Who was the guy that wanted to get everybody to take shotguns and march on Washington DC? Adam Koresh. The list goes on and on. Chunky Mark. All the that have engaged with you within this new field of media, kind of getting in on the, here, I'm just a normal dude sitting at the end of a computer and getting inside your head and making you think right-wing politics is cool.
Seems like now the cool kids are Republicans.
Well, do you know that
what I mean?
expression, show me a young man who's not a liberal and I'll show you a man with no heart. Show me an old man who's not conservative and I'll show you a man with no brain.
There you go.
There's certain aspects of me that have become more conservative as I've gotten older. I've like appreciate hard work more. I understand like the mental pitfalls involved in self-pity and a lot of
family
the things
values, man. That's the number one thing. Because when I grew up, there were no family values, and I thought family values is a way to control you. They're trying to control you with the family values in Christ.
Yeah.
And the older you get, you're like, I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Of course it's all about family. You gotta have values. A dude with no values is a dude you can't trust worth a shit. I ain't gonna trust.
It's also when you have something to lose, you realize that everybody has something to lose, and it puts you in like, you commiserate with all the other people that also have families. You all feel that's one thing when you go to like family gatherings and everyone's got their kids. Like you feel about their kids the way you feel about your kids. Like you want to look out, he's gonna go near the stairs.
Yeah.
Like you don't. This is what communities and tribes used to be like.
Yeah.
Like we gravitate towards that. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, you know what? I used to think growing up that giving in to your desires was like, that's your right. That's my right. If I'm horny, I'm going to fuck. If I want to party, I'm going to drink. And these fucking right-wing people from Alabama, they're trying to throw Jesus down my throat and trying to push their family values. But I swear now, dude, I'm not Republican. I'm not claiming Republican at all or anything, but I get it now.
But you're sounding like a fundamental Christian, or on the cusp of some of the shite fundamental Christians would spout to push their version of religion down your throat. That's just the way I see it, man. And I see it everywhere with lots of people. Conservatism is fucking... Joey Diaz just said there, has been made cool. How's it been made cool? Just randomly? Just because all the old crusty conservatives are just fucking so cool? No! I believe it's been just... It's politics, isn't it? That's the people on the right. Hold on. Shit. No. What's it going to do? Got it here, 3:45.
Now there are.
And it's always worthwhile to just keep playing.
He cut his marketing teeth working for the militant pro-life movement in the States, then set up the BNP's fundraising call centre in Belfast.
You've got to remember, most political parties don't know their arse to their elbow. You bring in a professional marketing team. You know, I trained in America with the pro-lifers and all that. If you apply professional marketing techniques and fundraising to a political situation, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with the BNP. Raised them £4 million, and then left them to it. So I was never in the BNP, but we did do work for them, just to make them successful enough to push everybody over to the right. And I think
no, like, I don't know, is this not an insight to a lot of people of the apparatus that exists behind political parties, and why in political parties you'll get different persuasions, different influences? That's why, if you haven't noticed, there's been a fracture not only in the Conservative Party of late. You know, some of the Conservative Party weren't quite right-wing enough, but in Labour as well. You know, some people in the Labour Party weren't quite left-wing enough. and it's my belief this is just the manifestation of the modern-day apparatus getting used by Jim Dawson and the likes. George Soros, if you want to put somebody else in there, to steer the political debate just to move the pendulum in their desired direction. And a lot of people would say that one of the things that the far right has been pushing for a long time is this Brexit thing. If you look at how, let me put a time frame on it. In the past 10 to 15 years, I can remember when I used to be able to watch the news and there was no immigration stories whatsoever. Now you can't watch the news without there being immigration stories. It's became so high up in the talking lists. And that isn't the far left that's done that. That's people on the far right that might not want to tell you what to think, what to think, but they want to tell you what to think about. And they've managed to change the general discussion in the country so much that now immigration and all that jazz and deporting illegals and all that shit is now at the forefront of a lot of political parties' manifestos when they're going to get people to vote. Maybe not so much in the last election because that was all about Brexit, but it was certainly still there. Anyway.
That has resulted now in the success that UKIP is enjoying. And far better UKIP enjoying it than the BNP, to be honest with you. But at least everybody's over to the right a couple of notches.
Now he's...
Woo! Job's a good tune, Jimmy boy. Job's a good tune.
Get it? Because I have a kid, and there's no way anybody is going to...
So my conspiracy is there's people out there who behind the political apparatuses. There's millions of there's hundreds of Jim Dowsons. You know, he's just one of them, whose job is to influence people by hook, by crook, by whatever way they can, to swing the pendulum in their direction, whatever that may be. And I don't think there's any different in America. And these dudes and their attitudes and the topics they talk about continuously and the guests they have on and all that jazz is a reflection of that. And it's a reflection of people being turned on to the sexiness of right-wing politics, which she was talking about.
Convince me that because some fucking kid with pink hair all looped up on pharmaceuticals shoots up a mall, that it makes sense that I give up my...
He's not a Republican, but
guns, and I can't protect my family.
These are long, we're going to get into the weeds.
Explain that to me.
We're going to get in the weeds if we branch off in all these different directions. But I know what you're saying is like as you get older, especially when you have family. But what it's made me is it's made me way more compassionate and way more understanding. Like I'm still not great at it. I still fuck up sometimes.
Right, well, anyway, you get kind of changing topics away from what I was touching on there, but what is the next? Who shot JR? 2 a 14. Try to remember
here we go.
What this is about.
Good. Hello. Oh, we did some quick, easy FBI work right there.
So anyway, that made me feel good. That makes me feel good. I want to be an outsider. I don't want. I want people to be afraid of me.
They're afraid of you now.
Well, I don't know if they are, but they won't come on my show. So that's good. And by the way, my show was never about guests. My show was all about my opinion,
of course,
and calling out bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's not nobody
you're doing the right thing. I'm doing the wrong thing because they all keep asking to be on my show.
Oh, okay.
I've had requests from all of them.
Really?
Oh yeah, Biden, Warren.
How do you resist
Mayor
that
Pete.
shit?
Because I have my friends. I'd rather talk to my friends.
Yeah, I know. I get a
I
boner.
like Tulsi and I like Bernie. That's it.
Oh yeah?
Everybody else can eat shit.
Look at you, fucking progressive.
Yeah. Well, I've always been. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone says you're a right winger.
They're out of their fucking mind. I've never voted right wing in my life.
Really?
Never. I voted Democrat except for independent. I voted for Gary Johnson because he did my podcast.
People don't realize how powerful. Like
yeah, I'm not right wing at all.
Oh, okay.
No,
that's wild.
No, there's nothing about me that's right wing.
When you kill your own food.
That's it.
Your stance on gun control?
Well, that's crazy. 95+% of the population of the planet eats meat. I just happen to kill my own. Yeah. That's it.
So
it's not like 95% of the population is right wing because they kill their own food. I think there's a lot of right wing like family values and things like that I admire. I think, but when it gets to homophobia, when it gets to women's rights, that's where I break. Right? I'm 100% in favor of women's rights, 100% in favor of gay rights, gay marriage.
Is that like Tommy Robinson's position?
I'm a big proponent of. There's got to be some new action taken to clean up a lot of these crime-ridden communities. And the idea that we can spend all this money overseas, but we can't spend money on Flint, Michigan, or Detroit, or the south side of Chicago, that to me is insane. That doesn't make any sense. And this idea that we're all on the same starting page is so fucking stupid, too. That is a very non-right-wing way of looking at it, because everybody's like, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's a lot of people that came out of bad neighborhoods, but they didn't fucking cry, woe is me. They just went out there and they kicked ass. That's nonsense. You have no idea what it's like to grow up in a crime-ridden, poverty-infested, drug-addled neighborhood. You don't know what that's like, and we should make it so that no one knows what that's like. If we want America better, the best way to start is to clean up all the spots that suck and make people that are coming out of there have a real chance at making something out of their life. Don't have it so that they're starting out from the time they're a child with a massive...
So he's a libertarian then? I don't know. He always proclaims he's a liberal. Maybe he's right. 46-10
issue, and Trump was banging on about it, and Hunter Biden, and there was talk, and from nothing, right? Came from nothing.
Right.
So when I had to provide
these nations inside of a nation
of incredible stories and artifacts and history, but
this ties in with the 5G fear. Now, oh God, I wish I knew who this guy was. Mike Baker. He sounds like he's high up in the CIA or FBI or something like that. They got former CIA covert operations officer. Former. You see all these former CIA and FBI end up in Alex Jones and all that, talking about this and talking about that. But it's just all authentic people just chewing the cud, it's not people positioned to... I'm not even saying they're lying or anything, they're just put there to talk about things that they want to talk about in a way that they want to talk about them. And as I said, the CIA would be inherently involved with the Five Eyes. He's a former CIA operative. Some would say you can never leave the CIA. Once in, always in. Now he turns up in the biggest podcast in the world, just chewing the cud, Hey, Joe, my buddy. Ooh, hey, my pal. Yeah, man. Hey, we have a beer, a whiskey, scratch your balls, we go hunting. Yeah, man, we're just normal guys. And let me talk about CIA stuff.
But it's definitely worth people going to DC if they're saying, okay, I'm going to go to the Smithsonian. So they should put that one on the list because it's really fascinating. It's really good. Anyway, but what else? Oh, I know what I I was going to bring up because I can't come on the show without talking about Huawei.
Oh, so something going on with Huawei again?
Only on the periphery today.
Right, so 5G is actually real directed energy weapons. Or is that just a bunch of pish coming from the same sources that this shit is? And Five Eyes have quite openly talked about how they're apprehensive about Huawei's rollout of 5G infrastructure. And now we see ex-CIA operatives just having to talk about Huawei on the biggest podcast in the world. And look, Joe Rogan's just authentic guy sitting in his studio with his flotation tank after doing some jujitsu, if I can say it right. Just letting this guy chew the cud, So I'm not saying Joe Rogan's in the CIA, but he certainly knows that there's a guy, ex-CIA operative, sitting there talking about how shite China is. It's fucking messaging, folks. But Joe Rogan's just and I'm not even saying it's like when I said what I seen with the Joe Rogan Alex Jones interview. I seen a friend doing a favour for another friend to allow him to get his narrative out before a legal case. And Joe Rogan done everything he could to help him, being the biggest platform in the world, and he did. And that was wrapped up in a lot of Joe Rogan and Alex Jones pretending to fall out and then kiss and make up, and then Alex Jones just pops out of the woodwork at the most opportunist time and everybody's watching it, and so I don't think that's authentically what happened. But I don't blame Alex Jones or Joe Rogan for doing that. Joe Rogan's helping out a buddy, trying to keep a pal out of fucking jail or stop getting sued. His ass sued off him. And Alex Jones is asking for a buddy to help him out, do the best possible defence they can to stop him getting the ass sued off him. Now, I don't think either of them are bad for doing that. I don't think they're being legit and genuine by popping up and going, yeah, I mean Alex Jones and Joe Rogan would really fill out, and then it's like WW Mania 99, But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about Huawei.
The Trump administration signed this first portion of a deal with China, and so it's a trade pact, right? There's been this trade battle, obviously, and I just thought I was flying out here, and I was thinking about it. It's interesting dynamic, right? Because people talk about this current administration as not having any strategy, and sometimes it does seem, frankly, that way. But I was thinking the other day that there is actually this an interesting split in terms of how they're dealing with China. So on the one hand, we've got this softening of the trade war. They're going to, as a result of signing what they signed today with China, as sort of a first stage trade agreement. It mostly involves increased purchases by China of U.S. goods. There's some talk about them scaling back their theft of intellectual property.
Scaling back. That's a hilarious way.
Yeah. We're going to do it.
Maybe we won't steal so much.
Yeah, we'll take. We're not going to stop stealing, but there's that element to it. But at the same time as they're doing this, and as a result of that, we're going to cut in half our tariffs on quite a bit of a large amount of goods, and I think we're going to drop the idea of imposing more tariffs on some other goods. But even while we're doing that, so that's happening, right? But as we're doing that, we're also ratcheting up pressure and some sanctions and some legislation against the technology side of things. So we're still coming down on Huawei. Congress is trying to push through something that's going to make it even more difficult for U.S. companies to do business with them overseas. But I think it's interesting, right? Because there's some people I think in Washington who go, well,
so. Can anybody see the correlation which is responsible for my madness? In the sense that you watch what's happening with Huawei, watch what's happening with Huawei for ages. I mean, they've got that woman, Mung Hung or whatever her name was, getting locked up. I'm trying to get her out. They're basically accusing Huawei of being like basically the Chinese state spy fucking operation. Whether they are or aren't, I don't know. Probably they are, but Joe Rogan just authentically at this same time getting this guy on just coincidentally. Can people see the reason for my craziness? He's got a new TV show. Like Jesse Ventura and all that. So all these ex-agents show up, do the round on the podcast, do the round on the TVs, on the radios, talking about their UFOs, talking about this, talking about that. Like, I mean, does anybody think that they would be legit, like, being able to talk about anything worthwhile listening to after they've done all this kind of stuff? Anyway,
we can't do both.
He's probably a lovely guy. I'm just stating that I don't think he's a ex-CIA.
Well, of course you can do both, right? You can talk to the Chinese in real terms and say, yeah, let's focus on the trade war. We're going to do this. We're going to make it a little bit easier. Let's create a trade environment where it's good for both of us. At the same time, you know what? You're still, stealing our shit, and Huawei's still a national security threat. So we're still going to focus on this. And, this is not saying I'm singing praises of this current administration. I'm just saying that any administration should be able to operate on different levels, right, when it comes to the same. But we don't. We haven't seemed to do that. It's like with Iran, Well, okay, we're in the past, if they just gave some indication that they were going to play ball with us, we'd ease up on the sanctions, right? Even though they hadn't done anything about their pursuit of terrorism and other things that they were doing. Because we felt like in Washington, I think sometimes D.C. is like, oh, you can't do two things at one time that seem to be conflicting. Well, the real world says I think that you can. So I think China gets it. Now, I don't think they're going to stop stealing.
It seems to be how they operate.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider the fact that the government is so inexorably connected to Huawei. Like when you were explaining how big business and the government are hand in hand. They're not two separate entities. They work completely.
Big business and government work hand in hand, pointing at the Chinas. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was on record that the FBI had an office in Facebook's headquarters. I mean, come on.
Together. Mm-hmm. And so with Huawei...
I'm pretty sure, is Facebook not the CIA? Well, Nah, well, I suppose it would have to get split into two jurisdictions. You would have to have like your CIA and FBI departments in Facebook.
Since they have been busted, having third-party access to data and stealing packets and stuff with routers, because they have done that, you got to think, well, that's probably a part of the way they do business.
Well, it is. It's in their system. I mean, they made a decision decades ago, right? This is how we're going to achieve superiority in the world, right? We're going to get to the top of the food chain by skipping all the cost and pain of research and development. We're just going to hoover up everything we can from not just the U.S., but everybody. So, part of this, all this pushback against China has been specifically trying to say, look, you got to stop that, right? Mm-hmm. We understand it. We're calling you out on it. We're doing it. Now, we've tried doing that a handful of times in the past in a half-hearted manner. This time...
Now, as you'll notice, they keep going on about intellectual property because I think in the sort of ideology of a communist, there's no trademarking an idea. If some cunt invents a wheel and you can make a fucking wheel, then you're going to make a fucking wheel. I think that's the kind of attitude. So again, you get this kind of just this time immemorial war between the left and right.
I think the Chinese understand we're more serious about it, and we are trying to implement certain measures that will prevent some of that theft. But at the same time, I think, as you said, it's part of how they do business, right? We're not going to. So I think we have to be pragmatic in all of this and think, it's good that we're pushing them on it. It's good that we're telling them. It's good that we're trying to rebalance the trade environment. That we're calling out Huawei, that we're talking to our allies about not doing business with them, because all they really want is they want an access point, right? Mm-hmm. So if they do business with the UK, suddenly in this seamless world of communications, now they've got an entry point into the US. So it's we're working to try to get our allies to stay on board with us about that. But yeah, the Chinese, they subsidize Huawei, and the government does in a big way, and we just have to be realistic, right? We're not going to change their behavior in a major way. They're just going to become more.
This guy's a dual citizen. It comes out he's part British as well, and then he starts saluting the Queen and all that. I'm pretty sure the BBC subsidised with the British government through the enforcement of a license.
Sophisticated or more obtuse about how they do it.
Well, the best evidence to me that there's really something going on is that Google's even stepped in. Right. Google's even say, we won't even give you our access to Google Store anymore. If you want to have a Huawei phone, even if you buy it from overseas, it will not work on the Google ecosystem.
Yeah.
So what Huawei's done is they've started their own little weird app store. And they've started creating their own apps. They're essentially frozen out of the ecosystem that Google provides and the Google Play Store provides. But you can sideload some apps by going to the website. Like you can download some of them and put them on a phone. But they're essentially relegated to these weird Chinese versions of a lot of the popular applications, and it's a very limited selection. And when it comes to high-end cell phones, like what is the new Huawei phone? I think it's called the.
Now, so you see, like, there's Google pulling out all the stops to put the kibosh on Huawei. There's the former CIA guy having to talk about Huawei straight out of his own mouth. And look, listen, I'm under no illusions. I don't think Huawei is just a genuine mobile phone company. I think the accusations they're making are probably there's some foundation to it. But I'm pointing at this, hopefully, that it will make the 5G fear that's been propagated for many years, many years, about 4 or 5 years now. It's been bombarded with this bullcrap pish. People bamboozling you with bullshit. People are so invested in it that if you dare suggest that 5G direct energy weapons are pilots, see the guy in the mic, he's invested hours on people putting very convincing pieces, but there's a deep down reason for it. Anyway, so here's I've got another timestamp for that one. Hold on. Aye, 103. What are they talking about there? Dazed and confused.
Person Chinese
executives in
states, because we want to hoover up all the information about every U.S. military person, that's stationed wherever, or they're going to do it.
They're trying to get one of the top TikTok executives in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. This is me talking about. So they're going down the China's bad route and why Trump is great for what he's doing to China. And then they start talking about TikTok, which apparently hails out of China, and why TikTok is seen as a security threat, just like Huawei, right? So the security agencies over here know that all these apps and whatnot can spy like a mofo on whatever phone they're on. But they're quite happy for Google and Apple and whatnot to propagate these apps, just not the Chinese. Should tell you something about what they know these apps to be. Data collection and things. It's free. No, they're harvesting your data.
Interesting.
No,
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah, well,
not really interesting at all. Not interesting to me.
And he's talking about the chief executive? Sorry, let's get the details.
Knock on their door and say, we would like access to your database because we want to hoover up all the information about every U.S. military person, that's stationed wherever, or, they're going to do it.
They're trying to get one of the top TikTok executives in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah, well,
not really interesting at all. Not interesting to me.
So it's not happening.
No. Fuck
no,
you.
No, I don't even understand TikTok. I mean, I know the kids use it. Kids like it. I
Look at
guess.
this.
Make TikTok videos.
It's considered a cyber threat.
Yeah.
Lieutenant.
Right, so Joe Rogan's aware that he's an influencer, and he says yay and nay to certain people to allow them to come on and say what they want to say, whether it's this ex-CAI operative sit up there and tell you what a bunch of dickwads fucking... Wow, what a bunch of dickwads we are. Right, so I'm pointing out that there is an editorial slant on Joe Rogan's podcasts. Because he gets him and all his mates round every so often to get slaughtered with a wee fucking glass of whatever and a smoke on whatever, doesn't detract from the fact that this is one of the most influential platforms in the world right now. So much so that it took me. I remember years ago I started noticing all the young guys like speaking to each other, calling each other bro, right, up here in like Glasgow and shit. Never noticed that before, right? Never, hey bro, yo bro, right? And to the best of my abilities to figure this out, it fucking came through the Joe Rogan podcast. Because more recently, when I noticed everybody calling each other bro years ago, and then it's only in the last year and a half or whatever I've fucking dipped into Joe Rogan's podcast for the first time, and because there's so many ears listening to him and his mates coming across so fucking uber cool, big fatty, lovely glass, you know what I'm saying? And then and it's stripped into the lexicon of the masses, I would say. Maybe I'm seeing something that isn't there. But so much so that the top dog of fucking TikTok wants to try and get on Joe Rogan's show, and Joe Rogan's sitting there going, he's not getting on, you know. So it's not. I'm not saying he's a shill for money. I'm saying that he understands that his platform's massive, and if he gets him and his buddies on and all that, and backs up their shows and all that, they'll all sell out, and it's all like a wee self-fueling. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, what's wrong with him getting his buddies on his show and helping his buddies sell out a show? I've got no fucking problem with that at all. It's quite fucking commendable. He's looking after his pals and all that. But then for people just to think he's just a normal guy getting people on that he thinks is interesting, and there isn't kind of reasons why you'll get like, this guy's an interesting guy. Right? Any former CIA covert officer would be interesting to talk to. But you heard yourself that he's on there like, I have to talk about Huawei. Why do you have to? Right, anyway. And listen, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from watching Joe Rogan. I enjoy his shit myself. Right, that was just a few wee Pepsi Max Egan we got here. Fucking. I'm not going to go over his old stuff too much. Alright. Let's refresh our memories. Oh God. You need a date for that. 3rd of September 2016. Right? Nearly like 3.5, 4 years ago, right? And this was around the time when Max Egan and Ken O'Keefe get caught up in an Uber scam. They literally get caught stealing money off of people, promising them some world citizen shit. Right? And Max get caught in a scam. Ken O'Keefe get caught in a scam. And this was getting out into the truther community. And Richie Allen rode in on his fucking battered up fucking radio show and saved Max Egan. They allowed Max Egan to go on there and spin his shit and go, "Who are you, Ken O'Keefe? Who are you?" When it actually comes out that Max Egan's real name isn't even Max Egan, but he's not addressing that because he was attacked by the direct energy weapon of fucking 5G, I think. Right, so they were fighting over a bit of skirt. They were conning people out of money. They get caught. And what happened? Richie Allen and David Icke and all that side of the media flung Ken O'Keefe to the wolves and protected Max Egan when he was caught red fucking handed. Now, as I said, this was nearly 4 years ago. The writing was on the wall, people. The writing was on the wall. But people just find it too hard to give up their belief of their messiahs. But what was that? Oh, that's. I think that's his first one that he's removed.
What that like?
The Truth Trap. Right now, again, David Icke and Richie Allen are trying to distance themselves from being part of the Truther cult because it's becoming more and more and more and more and more and more obvious. I hate to even just use the throwaway term shells, but they are not what they proclaim to be. They are not truth tellers, truth seekers. They're not here to save us from the Illuminati. And I think more and more, I think that's becoming obvious to more and more people. So they're now trying to rebrand or whatever. And I don't know what's happened to Max. Maybe his head's just went
propped.
propped.
It's going to be a short one or a long one, but
2 hours. It's a long one.
Just had a chat with Max Igan.
Oh, tell us what's wrong with him.
All this stuff that's been happening. Apparently he uploaded a video and he had a swastika on his hand, and there was he was claiming that the earth was flat and all of these other things. And I just got off the...
Just another day in truther paradise. Do, 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 do. Just think about it. The Truther paradise.
Call with them just to see, what's happening. That's what happens when your mates do things that are kind of like, whoa. You just give them a call and see what's up. So apparently, what happened was he was about maybe 1:15, about 10 days ago. He was lying down on his bed just about to go to sleep, and he saw this...
Is he trying to hold a straight face?
Beam of light, kind of like in the shape of an oblong, a beam of light just sort of like come off of the roof and come down, boom, and hit him right here. Like it took about a second, like he was watching it from the roof, and it went into his head, and then all of a sudden he had this huge...
I don't know about you, that happens to me all the fucking time, all the time. Just happened to me like 5 minutes before I put a show on.
Huge, whoa, flashback of like his entire life flash before him. He knew all the deja vus that had happened to him in his lifetime, like crazy sort of stuff.
You just knew the Earth was flat.
And he, and part of that was saying that the Earth is flat, and part of it was saying put a swastika on your hand. It'll help to protect you from dark magic or whatever. And he was just like totally freaked out. Like this is 10 days after the fact. Now.
Wow, man! I thought the swastika stuff was some fucking funny guy photoshopping it on his hand for like, you know, like fucking for the coolest video about Max Egan cracking up. Apparently not. It was to save him from the dark forces.
And he's
the light just put in. Oh man, right. I just need to know if this guy's going to even like entertain this bullshit.
He's only just started to come right. I mean, he played a bit of music last night and it made him feel a bit better. He played a little bit for me just before, and hopefully that made him feel even better.
Fuck me, I wouldn't be listening to the music he's listening to.
There's
make beams of light coming in at your head.
A bunch of tech that is accessible, and
5G.
I thought about it to myself, you know, it's like the whole idea was to get him while he was sleeping.
Yeah, get him well.
Then
right, hold on, man. Let's just go straight to the source, eh? Let's go straight to the source and we'll come back to this.
Okay, I've had enough of this shit, alright?
Yeah, front the barbie.
I apologise.
Do Australian accents are rough as fuck, but are they sexy on women? Kylie Minogue, but she always like spoke the Queen's English. I thought.
This is the last relevant sage talking. Let's hear it.
Right, so apparently somebody plagiarised somebody. It might have not been Max Egan. What? People going around YouTube listening to this one person's bullshit and then spouting out pretty much verbatim the same bullshit, claiming it as their own? Never. It's some sort of a conspiracy.
Hi folks, this is just a quick video to let you know that I'm okay, just to let everybody know that I'm all okay.
He's been in the dark and his mushroom nose is just sprouted out, just beautiful. Again, I've wanted to always know this question. You know the chicken and egg? The chicken and egg? What came first, the button nose or the button mushroom? I don't know. Button nose or button mushroom? What came first?
Oh.
You answer that, my friends. You hold the key to life itself.
Obviously, I had some weird stuff happen in the last couple of weeks. I got targeted, folks.
Mate, the weirdness is still happening. Right, I'm sorry, man. Right. If this guy's legit, he's flipped his fucking lid. And anybody that wants to entertain this madness, you're not doing them any good. Right? See, if anybody in real life that you gave a shit about came to you and started saying there's fucking beams of light coming into my head, they're telling me to put swastikas on my fucking hand, the earth is flat, and speaking to me, you would genuinely say, this is just my humble held belief, you would genuinely go, here mate, lay off a smack, lay off a gear, lay off whatever the fuck you're full of, and go and get your head read, because you flipped your lid, pal. Right, and if he's not, God knows what he's doing.
I had some sort of a weird thing happen and I got targeted. I guess I was making too much of a difference with my fire videos, and so they hit me with something. I was lying in bed and they hit me with something and they filled my head full of all this rubbish, and I haven't really known what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy. It's been really crazy, and I have...
Alright. Hold on, I'm getting a vibe here, right? Now, he's made a video when he's been out his tits, right? And I'll be honest, didn't he seem out his tits too? It seemed a bit hairy space. Maybe he was just tripping out his tits. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's just stuck. Maybe he's took too much of listening. This, and like, I know this is funny and stuff, but this is genuine, legit. Maybe he's took too much hallucinogenics and he's stuck in a bad trip. It sounds like, I mean, like, I'm not even being funny, but you would send him to the hospital. Here, what's Thingamajig's name again? Vinny Eastwood. If you're really his pal, mate, tell him to go and get his head read by a doctor. Because that's some legit advice. Somebody that's talking about fucking white lights, energy weapons, fucking unnameable groups attacking them with fucking unprovable fucking technology that doesn't... And out of all the people in the world they're going to attack, they picked fucking this old man staying somewhere in the fucking Australia to test their direct energy weapon on them because his fucking YouTube channel's so powerful.
No reference point with how to deal with this. You know, I tried to post some stuff online to show you what was happening to me and what I was going through. I thought it was important for people to see it. I've actually received a lot of messages from people who've gone through similar things as well. A lot of people who know I'm not.
Yep, tripping out your tits. A lot of people have took too much. Go and ask Sid Barrett, you cunt. Go and ask Sid Barrett.
Crazy, but the point being, folks, they hit me with something. I just underwent a coordinated attack. They hit me with some sort of a light. Had I been asleep when that hit me, I would have literally woken.
Oh, thank God you were awake, Max. If it wasn't awake, you wouldn't have been able to dodge the laser beam. Oh God, fuck almighty, man. Oh, just imagine old Max in his fucking bed, trying to jerk himself to sleep. Dodging laser beams, not. I'd have thought it was Predator. That's what I would have thought. I'd have thought it was a good Predator. You know, 3 wee dots going in your head.
Woke up in the morning thinking I'd had an epiphany that I was the second coming and the earth was flat. And that's kind of what I was feeling anyway.
Just another day for you and me in true for paradise. Do, 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 do. Just think about it.
And I had this overwhelming impulse that I had to post this online. It was crazy. But all the way through it, I'm thinking, but this is technology. This was technology, you know. My fortunate part about it, that I can, you know, what I find to be fortunate is I was awake when I saw this come in and hit me. But, you know, we hear about these things. We hear about these directed beams.
His nose looks like Joe Rogan. Oh, man, that's a fucking peach, Devin. Here, Max, you get fucking something on your face, mate. You get fucking Joe Rogan in the end of your nose, man. What the fuck's going on? You get the fucking mushroom nose is turning into Joe Rogan.
And we hear about mind control and all sorts of stuff, but we never really think it's going to happen to us. Well, that's just what happened to me, folks.
AIDS-infected Santa Claus. Oh, the junkie Santa. There's a fucking movie like that. I think it's called Bad Santa. It's quite funny, actually.
And it's literally taken me 2 weeks to work through this. But I'm fine. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be doing more fire videos. I don't think the Earth is flat. It's crazy.
That's wore off now. The direct energy weapon beam, I've managed to succumb it.
How they do it, folks. But honestly, when I was asleep, I would have woken up thinking that I'd had this huge epiphany. And it's kind of freaky to think how they can do this. And this has been a coordinated attack that's been launched against me, folks, because we had that build-up, and I had this incredible adrenaline that night before this happened as well. Like, my whole body was full of adrenaline. Then I had this flash, and suddenly I'm talking gibberish for a week. Apparently that day there was an article in the newspaper or on online news claiming that mad conspiracy theorist Max Igan is claiming they're starting the fires in Australia with laser weapons, which is exactly the opposite of what I said on my show. And then there was the troll farms came out and...
I know. Mad Max. Imagine calling you mad for thinking that the Australian bushfires were started with lasers Nah. That's just crazy conspiracy. But what they're actually doing is putting the laser in my head and making me think the earth is flat and speak gibberish for a week. I would love to know what the fuck he's been getting full of. What did you come back for? He must have brought some of the ayahuasca shit that they all take on their wee drug and fucking fueled escapades around the world. Hey man, we're troopers, we're going to save the world. Let's get out our tits and shag each other. That's going to save the world. But hey ho, it'd be good to be there, wouldn't it? Getting high as fuck.
Full force and started trolling my channel straight away. And then there's also been, in a new wave of attack, there's been people that have been releasing a video saying that I've plagiarized someone who's actually plagiarized me, if you check the upload dates. So, interesting, folks. There's been at least a 4-pronged coordinated attack launched against me. I guess I was making too much of a difference.
Oh God! Do you know what? I'm being serious. I honestly think he's brought some of that hallucinogenic shit back from fucking Mexico, wherever they cult meat, and I think he's took too much, and he's been tripping out his tits, and for some reason he's thought it would be a good idea to go and make YouTube videos about how the earth is flat. He's got a swastika in the hand and he's a second coming.
With the 5 videos that I was putting out. The last video that I put up there...
What's these fires? Oh, about the Australian fires? What was so powerful about them, Max? I missed them.
Truth trap. I was trying to explain to you what I was experiencing, how I was feeling this interface between this world and AI is actually working, and what these computer screens are actually doing, and what Wi-Fi is really doing. I'm still trying to put a lot of it together in my mind.
He's trying to put it together in his mind. He's just trying to make sense of shit he doesn't understand. I think he's honestly flipped his lid. I mean, see if that's legit. He's went batshit fucking crazy. He doesn't look stoned. Although that's hard to tell. But nah, I've never seen a fucking been stoned out your box taking you into this fucking schizophrenic paranoid delusion state. Too much hallucinogenics. You need a case of Valium a month away, mate.
It really has been a crazy couple of weeks, folks. You know, I don't even know how to explain it. I just have no reference point for anything like this ever happening in my life. I have no reference point of how to explain it. I've got nowhere I can go and read about it. A few people have contacted me and said actually exactly the same thing has happened to me. So a lot of people know I'm not crazy.
But Max, let's get a reality here. There's people online that say they're super soldiers, and then you get other people contact them, go, I'm a super soldier too. It doesn't mean that it's happened, mate. It means like somehow, some way, whatever mental breaks happened, people are blowing smoke up each other's arse. Whatever weird reality they've created in their heads for whatever reason.
But I'm going to be back. I'm going to be doing more 5 videos. Thank you to the incredible amount of kind emails that I've had from people. All the trolls out there who've been attacking me, well, I don't know, get over yourself. I'd like to put a personal message out to someone called Sam as well, who I've actually met. Sam came to my house and I was very friendly to the man. He's been attacking me vehemently online, claiming that I dropped the ball and spat in the face of the 5 victims. Well, no, I didn't, Sam. You did, because I gave you all the information.
All right. Is this mental break? All right. Hold on. Something might be making sense to me now. Has Max Igan been on talking about how these fires were the deep state Illuminati or some shit? And the people of Australia who are actually fucking burning to a crisp and all that. You fucking idiot. Stop making fucking conspiratard fucking cannon fodder out my fucking loved ones fucking getting barbecued. Maybe that's what's happened. So, even somebody that's been round his house is pissed off that he's spewing conspiracy shite about the fire stuff. So now he's been attacked by an energy weapon.
You needed to go and act on this. I mean, all the people...
It just seems like a charlatan trying to make up a new narrative. You know? Like, Richie Allen getting rid of David Icke. Or pretending to be independent.
Out there in Australia who are accusing me of dropping the ball and spitting in the face of the fire victims for not continuing to bring you fire reports. I'd like to ask you what you've done with the information that I've given you. What did you expect me to do? Did you expect me to march to Canberra by myself and take...
So what information is he giving you? What's he proving? Is any, hold on. Answers in the chat if anybody knows. What has he been saying about these fires? It now sounds to me like he's had some heavy backlash from some really pissed off real people because of these conspiracy shite around the fire. No, it's not real, it's fake, it's real, it's this, the deep state, it was this, it was that, it was the Illuminati, it was the immigrants. Like the Christchurch shooting that this guy was spouting pish about as well.
On the Parliament, and what, you're going to cheer me on and hold my coat and cheer me on from the sidelines. Is that what it's all about? You know, I've given the Australian people everything they need to deal with this situation and to make noise and to point out to people that the government is clearly responsible for these fires and the weather is being manipulated.
Oh, right. Now it's making sense. The flat earth, all fucking, so he's been, oh God. He's getting a real backlash in Australia because he's conspiratardom around fucking real events, and I'm trying to spin some fucking the deep state Illuminati government are using weather manipulation to fucking kill people. Right, it makes sense now. So this isn't a mental break. This isn't him taking too much fucking ayahuasca. This is him flapping for some sort of a narrative he can hold on to hold his head up high online without feeling ashamed.
You know, if people aren't going to act on that, well, you can't expect me to do any more. So for those people attacking...
Oh, so you poured fucking all the fuel over everybody and go, you go and start the fire.
...me and saying that I'm disrespecting the victims of the fires, I'm not. You know, you are by not acting on the information that I've given you, and that's just the sad truth. You know, I suffered an attack, ladies and gentlemen. I was fully put under an electromagnetic attack, and knowing they could do that to me and shift my perspective that easily, you know, all the talk of Manchurian candidates and mind control and all that sort of stuff, they don't really need to do it through trauma-based mind control. They don't need to do it through any of the stuff we think they do, folks. All they got to do is zap you.
It's not me.
Sorry, folks. All they got to do...
It's the guy in white coats.
...is zap you with one of these lights. That's really...
Everything we ever knew. Oh, MK Ultra, all the mind control, trauma-based mind control. So we don't need to just zap you with this light. It's like in Men in Black. Have you ever noticed these people who stay in this, and I don't know how to put it, but paranoid delusion fucking reality? Somehow, some way, movie narratives and stuff in movies get blended in with the real world. Somehow it becomes real. It fucking was it him? I'm pretty sure it was in one of his recent videos. It must have been, because I'll be honest, I don't watch them. Only when the bat signal get put out about being in the crazy train, I was like, I'll be watching that shit. But he was talking about how that's how it is in the Matrix, folks. That's what they do in the Matrix. I think it was the one he must have deleted. And you're like, the Matrix is a fucking movie, pal. He's literally talking like as if like what happened in the Matrix is like reality. They're out there blue pilling you, red pilling you. It's like the Matrix where Neo does this. You're like, it's not real. What fucking anyway. He's ill, man. This is crazy horse shit.
All they've got to do. So it was a pretty freaky experience, folks, and thank you to the people who stood by me through all this. And you know, to the haters, well, haters are going to hate. I don't really care what you think. On the channel that I've had, the YouTube channel that I've had all these years, folks. I mean, I'm not your reporter. I'm not a guru. I'm not a leader. I'm not anything. I'm simply Max, and I'm simply giving
But no, but your name isn't Max. See, when you were tripping out your tits or on whatever, the truth serum that fucking the Illuminati put into you, that's probably what happened. The Illuminati injected him with some truth serum. You remember you telling us your name wasn't Max? You even explained where the fucking Max Egan thing came from.
My perspective and sharing my perspective and my opinion about things through life. I've never monetized my account. I don't do things for clickbait. I don't do things because I want.
But you fly around the world, complain about it all the time, make a healthy living off this shit. That's undeniable. Not very many people that travel around the world on the back of conspiracy stuff.
I want views, I want subscribers. I just do them and say them because I think they need to be done and I think they need to be said. So for those that have joined me on the ride and those that are...
So let's get this straight. Let's look at some of his MO here. 5G, he was pretty much ground zero as far as I could tell with the 5G fear and the truther movement. Fucking 4 years ago, almost. He was on about the Christ... What was his Christchurch thing? That was a hoax, or there was more than one shooter, or... I can't remember. And now, some sort of weather manipulation machine ran by the Australian government is responsible for the bushfires happening in Australia. You know, bushfires that happen fucking... Like, do you know bushfires? You know how long they've been happening? They've been happening longer than human beings have been here. But it's direct energy weapons, y'all. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the craziness.
Continuing to join me on the ride. Well, I welcome your company and I welcome your input and I welcome your perspective and I hope you enjoy the ones that I share with you. But for the haters, hey, go find another channel. I'm not your leader. I'm not your guru. I'm not your reporter of all that is true. I'm just Max. So, you know, get over yourselves and go troll someone else. And to the people who are accusing me of plagiarism, I suggest you do a little bit of fact checking, folks, and look at the upload dates on those videos. I have no problem with Relevant Sage using my words. It would have been nice if he'd put a link below to let people know he'd used my words so people didn't accuse me of stealing my words from him. But either way, I don't care that he said them. I don't have any grudges towards anybody. But I think the people that have jumped on the bandwagon to accuse me of plagiarism without doing any fact-checking at all, I think you've kind of revealed yourselves as being part of the anti-truth movement. So.
Oh, right. So here, is this going to be something that's going to be rolled out within the truth industrial complex to counter the people that actually realise they're all full of shite and they're all in it for ulterior reasons rather than tell people the truth? You're just part of the anti-truth movement. Well, that would be like the lie movement then, wouldn't it? Let's start up the lie movement. That'd be so great. But like, aye, hold on. Right, we're the liars.
So, you know, time to get back on focus, folks. We've got a pretty dangerous situation here, and the government likes nothing better than to see us hacking each other down. You know, we've got a real situation, and if the so-called truth movement or independent media or alternate media or whatever you want to call it in Australia were to unite at this particular time, at this very crucial time, then we could actually make a difference. But, you know, people have got to get off their high horses and stop wanting to be right in everything they're doing and realise that we have a situation here and the only way we're going to deal with this situation...
Yeah, we've got a situation, the earth is flat, they're manipulating the weather. There was this shit. There's like, we need to do stuff to progress to level 2, like Mario Brothers.
Unity. So let's get our acts together, folks, and let's get a little bit of focus. Like I said, I've got a lot more information I need to bring you on the Australian fires. It's been pretty full on in the last week or two since I've been off air and offline. I'll get a report out to you hopefully later this week, and we'll push it from there and see how we can go from there and what we can do from there. But I'm back, folks. I'm over whatever this was that they did to me, and I think I'm back stronger than ever.
Man, at least you say you had a mental break. I would have believed just saying you were tripping out your tits, mate. Would that have been more plausible than like fucking laser weapon coming in from fucking nowhere, zapped you in the head and made you believe in gibberish. I mean, I would really like this. I'm trying to figure out what really is going on here, right? And like, I'll be honest, the percentage I'm given to him getting zapped with a laser in the fucking head. Maybe that's why he's getting the hair, but I'm pretty sure he was baldy before that. Is minimum. Minimum, like a 0.0000001%.
And I think I've actually gained a few insights on how they play this game that they're playing. And the reason I call it a game is because
that's the computer game they're playing, and because I get zapped with their weapon, it's allowed me to see inside. What the fuck are you talking about, pal? What was this weapon? What did they do, Emacs? Did they just want to spaz you out for a week? Because that doesn't really sound like a good weapon.
The way they play it. It's certainly no game to us, but that is certainly the way they play it. So, yeah. Thanks for listening, folks. I'll be back to talk to you soon when I've got more information. Like I said, this is just to let everybody know that I'm okay. I'm all good. I haven't been arrested. These rumours that I was arrested, I don't know who starts all these rumours.
Fucking somebody probably giving you advice. Some can't arrest him.
Seems that you can't, take a couple of days offline these days without people starting all sorts of rumours that all this stuff's happened to you. So, crazy world we live on, folks. But I'll be back to talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. In Lakesh.
What's Ilakesh? What religion's that? Crazy. Max Egan.
Hi, Susie, to anyone. I can hear you fine. All right. Once again, Vinny, the only one who goes to the source. Thank you for talking to him personally. Well, you can't really do it any other way, especially if they're a mate.
No, I just went straight to the source there, and
no, if someone's a mate, you have to talk to them personally, because otherwise you can't really get the story. Because then it's all hearsay. It's he said, she said, blah 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 blah, kind of thing. And
he's making videos.
He was pretty adamant about it. He's like, I'm not crazy, and I need you to believe me. And I do. It's all right. Stuff happens to us in these when we have problems like this. Hold on a sec. I've got a little bit of a oddity with my power supply here. There we go. That's better. Now is my bank.
Right, okie dokie. He believes his friend. Fair dues. Right. Tommy Robinson, not Netsy enough. Say hi to the folks in the chat room before I batter into Tommy Robinson. Maria chat in the evening, girls. Bright77, how yous doing, my man? Old Pet River in the evening. There's Stewie and Devon. How yous doing, gents? Durpo Hayes, how you doing? The Magic Magnets is in. Devon Shovel, how you doing, my man? Gas Mask Vadoom in the evening, guys and girls. Thanks for joining. Bright, Durpo Hayes, Cha. The artist formerly known as Tony Blazing Stars. Maria. Lazy Jesus was in as well. Hope you're doing good, the Jesus. Much love to the Jesus. Much love to the baby Jesus. Make sure you thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Share it with your foes. Share it with your family. Help the channel and the show grow. Thumbs it up. And remember what I'm doing. Digital basket. It's all available and accessible, free of charge. I'm going to do such a good job, you'll find value in what I do, and use your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal's down below. The mega thanks to those who do. Onwards and upwards. Right, let's Tommy Robinson ain't Nazi enough. Tommy too Nazi.
And one thing I
to
also want
mention.
to add, I said this with Chris.
Now, God, it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile demonstrating this. I think for people that dip in and out and all that jazz. Oh, shit.
Now, there are...
It was worthwhile
Remember, most
emphasising
political parties
this.
don't know their ass to their elbow. You bring in a professional marketing team. You know, I trained in America with the pro-lifers and all that. If you apply professional marketing techniques and fundraising to a political situation, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with the BNP. Raised them £4 million, and then left them to it. So I was never in the BNP, but we did do work for them, just to make them successful enough to push everybody over to the right. And I think that has resulted now in the success that UKIP is enjoying. And far better UKIP enjoying it than the BNP, to be honest with you. But at least everybody's over to the right, a couple of notches.
Now he's bankrupt.
Right, and again, I can't emphasise this enough. So, Jim Dawson, let's say he wasn't part of the BNP, he just worked for them. Although Nick Griffin is a Knights Templar, part of the same organisation that Jim Dawson's in. So, what comes first, the Knights Templars International or the BNP? Some would say it's just like lots of splinter groups under the one umbrella. That's my personal opinion. And the reason for creating... Now, Jim Dawson's an expert in marketing and demographics. That's his expertise. And if he wanted to further the far-right agenda, he could quite easily conceive of a marketing ploy to create figureheads to appeal to different demographics, particularly demographics that haven't engaged in or haven't voted right-wing before. And the fallout from these groups is everybody's over to the right. So these people initially would be in the Tommy Robinson crew and out there fighting the hysteria that was managed to get hyped up around Muslim grooming gangs with Tommy Robinson in his echo chamber was fed on by the far right, and the result is even further right groups getting created. But as Jim Dawson says, he doesn't care, just as long as everybody's over to the right a few notches. So everybody that's engaged with Tommy Robinson's over to the right a few notches, and everybody that Tommy Robinson wasn't Nazi enough for have got wee groups and they're over to the right a few notches. And the ones that this mob are too Nazi for, but they want to just get involved in just light right-wing politics, they've got Tommy Robinson's mob, but they're over to the right a few notches. Just like Jim Dawson planned out and executed using the BNP and then UKIP. I mean, I don't know. And this is one of Tommy Robinson's splinter groups.
Chris on TR Talk. I'm against the sexual abuse of any girls for any reason. Full stop, the end. I've spoken out.
Like, they're coming out and going, I don't like to get shots in my mouth. Right? Why the hell does that make you... You're stating the fucking obvious here, right? There's no need to state the obvious, right? Unless you're rabble-rousing. Unless you're virtue signalling. You know, why the fuck do you need to go out there and sort of proclaim the obvious? Yeah, you know what? I didn't shit in anybody's mouth today, ain't I? Fucking great.
Against Muslim grooming gangs. I've spoken out against the BBC covering for people like Jimmy Savile. I've spoken out against establishment politicians like Cyril Smith doing horrific things to young boys. I've spoken out against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and their grooming and
Now, this is a good example of how pedageddon can get used by any side. Right, so, for example, Tommy Robinson hunts brown paedophiles. This mob will focus on paedophiles with no foreskins, for example. And the pattern is echoed everywhere. The proddies will point at the Catholic Church. You know, it just goes on. It's endless. And I think people might be naive not to think that everybody out there going, I'm fighting paedophilia, the real agenda or the real fucking motivation is fighting paedophilia, and they've not been wound up by some other cunt for ulterior agendas. And I would point to Tommy Robinson, and I'd now point to this guy, both using dirty, filthy pedos that have been fucking caught. Epstein get the best justice, did he know? I'm killing myself. Some would argue, but the subject of paedophilia is used as a way to get into your heartstrings. And once they're into your, oh, this guy hates the pedos. Oh, what a good man.
Sex trafficking operation. But one thing I will say about Tommy, which does utterly disgust me, is when the news broke the other week in the British tabloids that a former Mossad agent had come out and spilled the beans that the Epstein grooming scandal was at the behest of the Israeli state. It was being run by Mossad, and it was being used as a means to blackmail and control Western politicians, dignitaries, celebrities, you know, people in society who are opinion formers or leaders. We all knew that was the case, but for it to actually break in large British tabloids, it was in The Sun, that was huge news. Now, Tommy Robinson has been pictured in a Mossad shirt. Now, knowing that Mossad were behind or involved...
Tommy Robinson isn't an independent journalist. Ooh, you know, he's fighting for freedom he got a freedom with speech. What? That means he's all about freedoms.
In the grooming and trafficking of dozens, if not hundreds, of girls of European descent by Epstein and Maxwell, don't you think he should at least have the honesty, the integrity to say, I've stood against these Muslim grooming gangs, but I'm going to stand against other groomers of other ethnicities because I care about the victims, but he doesn't. And I'll tell you this, and I said it on TR Talk the other week, if Jeffrey Epstein had been a Muslim, Tommy would be standing outside one of Prince Andrew's residences. He'd have a placard in each hand. He'd be shouting he'd be shouting his head off, and Ezra Levant would be somewhere in the background coordinating the fundraising. But because Jeffrey Epstein is a member of...
See, this is why it's a wicked, weird world we stay in. He rips Tommy Robinson an asshole good and proper. And you're like, yay! And then you realise like you're literally cheering on little fucking Hitler. And his problem with Tommy Robinson is he ain't quite Nazi enough, you know what I mean? Whew. Anyway, so this is the kind of splinter group of Tommy Robinson.
That in November, December 2019, there's increasing threats of violence from Tommy Robinson fans towards ex-Tommy Robinson fans. I want to tell you my personal experience of Tommy Robinson fans and them threatening violence against those they disagree with. When Tommy released the Panodrama expose of BBC, one of the people that helped him was Lucy Brown. However, before enduring...
He puts his telephone voice on too much for me, and it's like, well, hello there. It almost sounds a wee bit like he's speaking to 2-year-olds instead of just trying to get the Ouija out of his accent so normal people around the world can understand it. But mate, you can still You can do a bit of both, I hope. Because it makes you sound like you're a wee bit slow, because you're speaking a wee bit like this. Lucy Brown.
The time of Panodrama, Tommy had a fallout with Lucy Brown. At that point, I was still a supporter of Tommy, and I remember some Tommy fans were calling online on the internet for acid to be thrown in Lucy Brown's face. I made a video saying stop this, stop it. So in November, December 2009, allegedly there are threats of violence from Tommy fans to ex-Tommy fans, also to secret sources and I believe
In the evening days, how you doing, man? He's got a Twitter. Jim Dawson does have an interesting Twitter days. You know, I've got it somewhere, I'm sure. Let's see if I can find it. Aye, there it is there. It's kind of just like anti-Pope, anti-immigrant shit constantly. Oh no, now with the Irish election coming round, he'll be promoting all the Irish ultra-nationalists, all the fucking Irish Nazis party. Oh, look. Oh my god. Jim Dawson, who proclaims to hate Tommy Robinson because he likes all the people that aren't accepted in his extreme religion, is propagating Tommy Robinson shit. And his days is saying, look, it's getting minimum traction. It's got thousands of followers, but getting little to no traction. But these people are famous for fucking inventing their social media presence. It was Jim Dawson that helped Britain first. And they were fucking renowned for spewing, for having like fake social media numbers, let's just say.
Others as well, but it's nothing new. As far back as Lucy Brown, Tommy fans
Lucy
were threatening
Brown.
violence against those they disagreed with.
Now, this guy's YouTube channel is something like, I can't remember his name right, but it's something like Dave Faye Cumbernauld. Imagine of, but it's just funny because I'm born and bred in Cumbernauld.
Or I should say some of Tommy's fans. Tommy may say he's not responsible for his fans, but he's certainly not doing anything to silence the calls for violence. I remember when the Lucy Brown thing was going on, there was nothing. Nothing came from the Team Robbie, Team Tommy about stop this, or nothing.
So at the time he didn't complain, but now he thinks Tommy isn't a Nazi enough because he doesn't hate the Jews or point to the Jews.
And this lie.
Now he's pointing out all the things which he now hates about Tommy, which at the time he just forgave him for.
Being perpetuated by Tommy Robinson, that everyone who's come here has somehow made Britain a better place except for Muslims, is just nonsense. It is.
See what I mean? It's like, right, Tommy just wants to fling out the dirty, stinking paedophile Muslims. That's not extreme enough for these folks. These are the people that want to like kick out, and this is like Mark Collette. I'm pretty sure he's BMP. My memory serves me correct. Which again just links into Tommy Robinson and Jim Dawson infrastructure. And you know where their political ideologies lie, and these are the talking heads that are created to appeal to particular demographics.
It's the kind of rubbish that he is pushing on behalf of his controllers.
And your controller is Jim Dawson. So you've got fundamental Zionists in charge of Tommy and fundamental Christians in charge of this mob. but they're all over to the right a few notches. It's all gravy, baby. And then you seen Joey Diaz on Jim Dowson's podcast, on Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about how nowadays all the cool kids are conservatives. And I've witnessed this in the real world as well, you know, hanging about with the youngins, and it's like a big bunch of and you're like, they're all gay with pink hair and fucking love Trump. You're like, what's going on, man? I'm the least Nazi bastard here, and yous are all gay with pink hair. How come I'm the least Nazi here? Oh, I swear I've witnessed that, man. It is the weirdest fucking thing. And in Scotland as well, it's even weirder because, and this is just my perception of the particular Central Belt, but just how conservatism died at the hands of Margaret Thatcher here, you know, it was like you couldn't call yourself a conservative in public, you'd get lynched. Maybe a ball-hairier understood. See when Margaret Thatcher died, there was parties in George Square. Literal. I mean, I don't mean like, I mean like fucking people with stages having fucking parties because an ex-prime minister died. That's the hatred up here for that woman. It kind of comes through the whole poll tax shit and all that jazz. But anyway, I digress. Oh, I think I've got a few Patriot Union clips in the bag, mate. I think. Anyway, we'll see. This is the...
Welcome back.
This is the fracture away from Tommy Robinson, the extreme Nazis.
My name's Storm Shuri. This is a rather unprofessional version of Zero News. Small but ever-growing podcast, as I used to say. I can't currently still go live mobile. I'm working on what the problem is. It's not YouTube. It's my end, so I'm trying to fix it. Probably.
Does he get the same nose as Max Egan?
What I'll go and do after this.
What is it? Are these all? Is this like fucking Dallas Goldbug material? Are they all sitting off camera exchanging the same prosthetics?
I just wanted to briefly mention a couple of things that have been going on, or maybe just one. I don't know if you saw Tommy Robinson's acceptance speech for the award that he won for free speech.
Of course I have.
I will try and remember to link it in the description. But I've always just searched for Tommy Robinson acceptance speech, and you'll see it. It wasn't the actual speech.
I thought he was wiped off the internet. I thought the deep state Illuminati had wiped Tommy Robinson off. Apparently not. You just need to search for it.
So I wanted to delve into, because to be honest with you, I want to watch it back again, because retaining detail at the moment for me has been quite difficult. But it's more the concept. It's more the what can we learn from Tommy getting this award and going over and doing this quite lengthy speech. And I think one of the things that I would take away from it, considering the
wait for it. This is Einstein.
Sorry, there's a lot of noise around me. Considering the narratives and stuff that have been going around recently, is Tommy Robinson gets an award, and sadly, the last place he's going to get an award from is his own country. So
weird, that, isn't it? Very strange, that. I mean, it doesn't really make sense when you think about it.
There he is, standing in another country, not Israel, by the way.
A nationalist standing in another country receiving an award. These motherfuckers can't he fucking understand somebody needs to introduce them to irony, you know? All these truthers with fake names and fucking international nationalists. International patriotic nationalists.
Not Israel. And there he is standing in another country, receiving an award for what he quite rightfully should. And in his own country, he is considered a pariah, to the extent where I live out in Sir Eric of Essex has been here now, so he knows I live right out in the sticks. I live out in a little country place, and yet I can go to a cafe up the road and mention his name in a phone call and upset a leftist breakfast, as some of you are aware. And that's a small symptom of a much larger problem. You saw it if you...
That's a symptom of the cult of Tommy, mate. And the fact that you're Max Egan in disguise, because he's clearly got the same nose.
If you saw me when I went to the Donald Trump protests, when I went as, you know, to go and talk to the protesters, you saw how the older trade union guys, one of them tried to square up to me and like frighten me like he was going to hit me or something, because I mentioned Tommy Robinson. And it seems that you only have to mention his name for people to want to become violent with you.
That's how a polarising figure he's became.
They call us violent thugs, but they are the first to try and throw down. And by the way, none of them are intimidating. I don't know why that they do it, because all of us know
they're all pussies.
It's really funny. If you've never been to a demo, and I know there's many of you that haven't, there's one thing that you understand when you've been to a few of them is, generally speaking, nobody fears the left, because they're either decrepit or too fragile to even want to hit.
And remember, this is the independent journalism. Independently coming to all those conclusions. Righty-ho, let's get on with the show. Right. Here's Tommy Robinson jet setting round the world. So
many of you may have heard since giving my speech.
Hold on. He's got a fucking mushroom cock nose as well. What is it? They've all got cock noses at the same fucking mould.
In Denmark at the Danish Free Press Society, Facebook removed the accounts of all the people who run the Danish Free Press Society because they were sharing links to do with me. They deleted all their accounts. Then Danish MPs started sharing the same videos and making comments. And there was a big, massive sort of national debate going on. My name was trending over there, and all of these people were seeing the censorship by Facebook. This morning they've reinstated all the people's accounts. Well, most of the people's accounts that they deleted. So I think the Danish MPs getting involved, because if they wanted to delete them, they'd then have to be deleting a member of parliament from Facebook for simply sharing a link to an event on free speech. So,
like, see this free speech crusade bullshit? Mate, your whole career's about fucking paedophile brown men. And now you're trying to make it into freedom of speech. Fuck all to do with freedom of speech, mate. And you found some fucking Bergen. You found fucking Humberg for fucking Denmark. Willing to put up with your bigoted shit. And because they hate the brown man too.
It looks like they gave in a little bit on that issue. Just interesting. I'll keep you updated with more information as I get it. Got a video coming. I'm going to finish it off later tonight to expose Denmark's main news channel and show.
He keeps a kilo up his nose, blazing, not a comb.
Deadline. And their manipulation and deception, just like the British media, just like all of them, they just played straight into the stereotype. I do an hour and 20-minute presentation on media, lies and deception. I go straight from there onto Denmark's national TV and they do exactly the same. Nuts.
So again, right, listen very closely about what's happening over there. He's not over there getting marauded in front of like the whole of Denmark. All the politicians are going, oh, hail Tommy, freedom of speech. He's found fucking the crazies in Denmark that are willing to put up his pish for a wee bit. Where the fuck did Breivik came from? Was it Sweden, wasn't it? Knights Templar International are quite big. That's where the link between Breivik and Tommy Robinson and all that comes from. I don't know if you know this. It's through Knights Templar International. Remember Breivik and his fucking Knights Templar shit and all that? I don't think it was proven at any point, but there was a lot of indications that there was Breivik was part of the Knights Templar International hailing out of the UK. Jim Dawson's mob. Lot of stuff indicating that. Anyway, I digress. Freedom, dum-dums.
All right, I'm here in the Danish Parliament. Tommy Robinson, you just received the World Free Press Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Cheers.
Some amazing speeches, really going through your history of the punishments
Let's see if he's nervous and starts ticking all the time.
you face for free speech. What's your reaction to winning this major award?
Did you see how red I went when I walked in?
It was a standing ovation.
It was beautiful, and it's amazing to get the recognition. So, for me, I'm still surprised. I think that Danish Free Press Society and Maria, the MP, I expected this to be cancelled because I expect them to come under such intense pressure that they'd be forced to cancel it. I was due to speak at Czech Parliament, and they were forced to cancel it. So the fact that the level or there is a stand for free speech in Denmark is great. I'm excited about giving my speech. Usually I'm worried about things. I'm looking forward to this. This is my opportunity to disgrace the media, to prove the media's lies, to show the public.
Just like panel drama, proved fuck all.
How they lie, how they work, how they operate. I'm happy, and essentially I feel privileged to be here. Especially seeing the people who've won the award before me.
I forgot Douglas Murray.
We'll get into that later on. There's a
I've got mates in prison serving more than 8 years for fights or for drugs. I've got mates in prison serving more than 8 years for fights or for drugs.
Seems like you've got a cock ring. I've got a fucking cock ring on right now. Right with my balls.
I've got mates in prison serving more than 8 years for fights or for drugs.
I've got a cock ring on right now. He loves Law and Order and all that.
Just a quick update. Do you know what? I'm so impressed and so honoured. The amount of emails that we have got from people from, and I mean everywhere. I think we've had over 700 emails in the last 12 hours. You know, people that are registering to become a member of the union. It's absolutely incredible, and it's exciting.
Unions
it's
are a
exciting
leftist idea.
It proves that there's so many
Unions
people
are socialists.
around this country that want to get involved.
Fuck.
Over the next few days,
you
we'll be publishing
idiots
the invoice
unions.
That's going to the web designer to make sure you're fully aware of where the first part of these contributions are going. Got a long way to go still, but we're doing good.
Head a bit too
we haven't
much.
even hit 24 hours yet, and we've already paid for the hosting and the security on the site. So it's really, really good. And we are going to be going through all the applications over the next couple of weeks. So be looking out. Please look out for emails.
Hold on. We just gave money for TR News when Tommy Robinson came under Illuminati attack. Now it's no TR News, it's just Patriot News, and we all need to give you more money for more shit. Or is it just people trying to... Has Danny Tomo been allowed to go out and set up his own franchise?
And even if you've left telephone numbers, we'll probably ring you to discuss what it is you're looking to do.
Aye, we'll send the boys.
The volume of people that are looking to get involved is fantastic.
Collection plates.
And it just shows if everyone stopped whinging and actually got behind something, how powerful this will become. And I will do everything
Blazing, that's not true, mate. I think it's just a mirror image. Maybe us. Maybe Danny Tomo's changed the side of his pardon to stop my Thor hammer.
I can to make sure it does become a powerful organisation that can really take the fight directly to those that are responsible for a lot of what's going on in the country. Really excited, guys. Massive respect for everyone that's got involved. Keep sharing the website.
See my quiff, how excited
keep the emails coming. Keep the applications coming for the memberships. Honestly, I'm so.
You get a wee membership card and everything.
Excited. It just shows, you know, how if you offer, you know, something out there, a new idea.
Maybe not the brown shirts. Maybe we could call them the casual shirts.
Everyone can get behind. That's not just about one person, not just about one group, not one organisation. That people are really, really interested in getting behind this. The amount of support we've had from Glasgow or Scotland as a whole and Wales has been huge.
Been sending in hundreds of applications.
Why do you, as a mainstream journalist,
I want to get in the union.
give Islam protected status over Christianity? Why do you give it a special protection where you would label someone?
Why is it a protection?
Well, because you're calling people far right who talk about it. And
But what's wrong with being far right?
Everything's wrong with being far right. What part of my views are far right? Because I criticise.
Nothing's wrong with being far right. What part of my views are far right? Where have I said that? Where have I been racist? I shagged a black woman once and I've got black pals. And here's my token Sikh Indian guy that hates Muslims as much as me.
Yeah. But I believe in women's rights. I believe in women's rights. I believe in gay rights.
You can do that on the right.
Under the far right.
I would say so.
So you'd say that. So what would you say that makes you far right? Criticising Islam.
It's one.
Doesn't even give you viewing figures, man. Wee perker before he went out.
Thank you.
Right, so again, this isn't distinguished people from Denmark and the Danish Press Society. It's idiots singing, "Oh, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson." I think that's the way they sing it in Denmark. I don't know if he's heard that. And if he's want to, you got details on your screen. It's on his YouTube channel that, you know, the Illuminati deep state don't allow him to have, but he's got.
My speech from today, I had a successful day in Parliament. My speech from today will be properly edited, uploaded with the proper full sound Sunday night, maybe Monday, as soon as I'm home. So yeah, it was a good day. I'm pretty tired.
I think he twitches more.
Morning.
He's tired.
It's been a good day. It was a good opportunity and platform for me to highlight a lot of lies that are told.
Patriotic news. Right, so right now let's just recap. Tommy Robinson got money for a big red bus that he was going to make into a studio. Then it was just a normal studio with bulletproof windows and shit. Give me money for that. Then we need money for another bus. Even though we bought a bus, we now need another bus. Give me money for that bus. I'm going to travel up and down the country telling you the stuff that you need to know before you need to know it. And now the Illuminati deep state are coming after me again. We need TR News. We need money for TR News. We're going to bring you independent reporters straight to you by our own website, TR News and all that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Patriotic News UK. More money, please. Big red bus, other bus, bulletproof studio, TR News, this shit. Let's throw fucking David Icke's push into this. Fucking scam after scam after scam. Fucking marketing. Fucking schemes to bleed money out of, let's face it, poor saps online by fucking talking about pedos all day. Woo! Anyway, thank you, Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson destroys Danish media TV.
We as Christians took the Old Testament and we said, this does not fit within the society of nowadays. Who said that? We said that as Christians.
Right, and then again, it's like, you can't win. You know, it's like, you can, the person isn't making an argument of what a fanny Danny Tomo is. It's semantics in it. My God is bigger than your God. Do you know what's fucked up? That's Boy George. Boy George, and I know that song. Believe it or not. My God is better than your God, maybe.
I'm not even kidding. I was walking down the road. I hear
waka waka waka. I'm not even kidding. Look how happy I look, everybody. I was. My God is bigger than your God. My God is bigger than your God.
Do you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's like when I got my opportunity at Oxford University, that was the first opportunity I got with a platform where I could actually say, watch this, look at this, look at this. That's what I'm going to do today. I've got a speech prepared. I've got videos. It's all about the media. I'm going to look at the media and talk about how the media have been weaponized, how they're used to destroy people's names, to attack people. I'll prove lie after lie after lie. And they're not making mistakes. It's intentional. So I'll show the tactics they use, and speak about the erosion of free speech and how we're at a pivotal time now where the globalists or Silicon Valley and the alliance of the left with the Islamists with the globalists to take away people's free speech. And
the Islamists and the globalists.
Everyone's just letting it happen. And people in other countries are fighting for freedom, whether it be Iran or whether it be Hong Kong. We're just giving it away. Yeah. We're giving.
And here, this the geopolitical expert. First things that pop into his head: Hong Kong and Iran. Funny that, isn't it? Tommy's bus had square wheels. Yeah, that was the problem. That's why it just didn't get going. That's why they didn't get it out of the garage. You must be right, mate. That was Tommy on tour in Legoland. Right, so Alex Jones is confronted. Let's watch this groundbreaking clip.
He got a good question in. Jones going to be doing another Russian Orthodox Christian, I believe, that does the videos with the news. He's been at 5 o'clock tonight Pacific. 5. If you want to D-Live questions in.
This crowd that's
let's get
mobbing Alex Jones. I've already got a couple videos, but I'll post those later tonight. I want to get close to him and ask him, hold him accountable for if you're against red flag laws, why aren't you against Trump, among other things. So we'll see what happens here. Alex, Brian from High Impact Vlogs. Hey, I got a serious question for you. You're against red flag laws, right? Yeah. Can you explain why Trump is for putting a federal red flag law into existence?
He said he was, and he backed off of it.
Do you know when he did? He backed off of it?
Oh, yeah, he said we're not going to do it anymore. I remember when it happened.
And what about the anti-First Amendment?
Still very troubling.
Does anybody know? I tried to look to see if Trump backed off of that. I saw a lot of articles about the red flag laws, but I didn't see anything clear about him backing off. Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
What's Trump getting involved in American football for? I'm sure that's what the red flag law is, isn't it? Then they throw a red flag on the field or something.
He did, but I haven't heard it.
There's a lot of stuff I don't like. Very troubling.
Do you call it out?
Yeah.
What about the anti?
Do you call it out? So Jones goes, yeah, Trump does a lot I don't like, and he goes, do you call it out? And he goes, yeah, but you could tell.
Still very troubling. Trump's doing a lot of stuff I don't like. Very troubling.
Do you call it out?
Yeah.
That's the face of a liar. Maybe he has criticized him here and there, but anybody that watches Alex Jones and Schroyer knows that he is a total lapdog Trump shill. Trump is like his God. He says he loves Trump. He's anointed by God. I mean, Alex used to be supposedly out of the left-right paradigm. He said it was two sides of the same coin, and now it's just Republicans, Trump, the Democrats and the liberals and the SJWs are the biggest evil in the world, and he's just got people completely sucked in this two-party dichotomy.
What about the anti-free speech thing that he did for the campuses under the auspices of anti-Semitism?
Well, he also said you can't block people's speech. He's saying if they organize and try to keep Jews from having their events or whatever, then they would do something. That's how they presented it to him. But I think it's also troubling the language that can be interpreted wrong. And he just says they can put atrazine basically in the water, which literally makes the frogs gay and also fucks people up. Excuse my French. So
it's
all the problems with Trump.
Don't censor yourself on my channel, man.
Okay.
You'll have to turn right.
I was just ranting about Trump. There we go.
Oh, were you? I missed
Man, I've been persecuted so much for supporting Trump. I support him because the deep state hates him. The problem is he's got such big bureaucracies around him. They just trick him. They give him files. They tell him something's this, it's that.
Why would he put Steve Mnuchin as the Treasury Secretary? He's a Goldman Sachs lifer.
Okay. So how do we get our patriots inside of the government, Mr. Jones?
What?
How do we get patriots inside the government? How do we support them?
People have to get organized. They have to get serious. We have to say we want grassroots people elected. We got to do it.
That's really about all it boils down to.
It starts with what you saw here today. Take it action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks for clearing the way earlier. Here's an across the street view of everybody basically mobbing Alex Jones.
Must be only about 40 people there or something. If that.
Well, you heard him
Probably
say
a
that he
mob,
was
but-
ranting against Donald Trump.
A brave man that goes into a cult meeting and calls these people out for their bullshit, man. How quickly that crowd could turn on you because you're questioning their cult leader.
This is the Alex Jones crew right here. Okay, so here's Alex Jones' vehicle right here. That is the vehicle from last night. Oh, no, I guess it wasn't. Because it didn't have Infowar stickers on, unless they just put them on today. But that's his vehicle right there. I'll get close to it.
That fan Dan, man. Check that shit out.
So notice this. This could be a coincidence, but I see my buddy Matthew North is in the chat. He did a video a while back all about the Mormon connection to Jews. And LDS could stand for Latter-day Saints, which is Mormonism. And it's interesting. Could be a coincidence, but I was looking for the video from Matthew North a minute ago. I think it got censored off of YouTube. But Jones was saying like, "Oh yeah, the Mormons, they know what's going on, and they're everywhere, and they're basically kind of." He was hyping them up. So you consider that.
I've never heard a retraction from Alex Jones backing off. Trump backing off on the red flag laws. As far as I know, he still wants federal red flag laws. I haven't heard anything to the contrary on that.
Right, anyway, so again, it's like here in the UK, you can see how even if you want to take people in a certain political direction, you don't mind creating different talking heads cults that will suck in different demographics but take you in that direction anyway. Here in the UK, you've got the Nazis and the Tommy Robinson pink hair and we're gay Nazis. Everybody's moving the same direction. And in America again, you've got Alex Jones, who's happy with the fucking, I don't know, is he like the pink hair and the trannies? Pink hair and the trannies. And the opposite, another cult that's been created, but to take everybody in a certain direction, is like your anti-Zionist cult. You know, one loves Jews, one hates Jews, but they're taking you to the right anyway. So these groups have been created up to appease people, to bring you into the political spectrum, to get you to vote right wing. And they've deliberately created the love Jews and the hate Jews. They've allowed the love Jews and hate Jew cults to be propagated. I would say position talking heads and all that to steer people to the right. Doesn't matter if you love or hate Jews, you're getting steered to the right. Like Jim Dawson indicated he done for the BNP and stuff. And that's kinda where my my madness comes from. So hopefully you did enjoy tonight's Not the Infowars Nightly News. The original, the OG baby, Mac Daddy alternative look at the so-called alternative media. Skeptical with the spectacles about the so-called skeptics and watching the motherfucking so-called watchmen, no matter who they think they are. Alrighty, boob tubes, thanks for listening. I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat and then I'll get out of here. Make sure you do thumbs up. Remember what I do is digital busking. It's all available and accessible free of charge. I'm going to do such a good job. You'll find value in what I do and use your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega thanks to everybody that does sub and bail up as indicated as well. Jamesy boy in the chat, how you doing, my man? Bright, Devon, Maria, Gnostic in the evening. Guys and girls, Stewie and Devon, thanks for joining, guys. Bright in the evening, my man. Vadum, Blazing, Maria. You get his ear. Devin, Days, Ridiculizer. How you doing, my man? Thanks for joining, buddy. Tom, Magic, Magnets, Durple, Haze, Old Pet River, Stewie, Cha was in earlier as well. And hopefully the artist formerly known as Tony. How you doing, my man? And Lazy Jesus was in earlier on as well, who officially says Kips Clips cures cancer, but it's not official yet. Keep an eye on it. Thanks for joining, everybody. Tune in, make sure you sub and bell up to both the channels, and you'll get notifications for any live shows I will be doing. Next Monday, hopefully, we'll be back with Alan to do another The Truth or Industrial Complex podcast. I don't know, we're going to talk about Max Egan, but we'll see what's happening closer to next Monday. And again, of course, next Tuesday for Not the Infowars Nightly News live. I will do what I done last week and do. I figured out how to edit this after the fact. I'll do a wee 10-minute outro so everybody can sit and wrap things up in the chat, and I can sit and chill for a wee bit. So hopefully catch you next Tuesday. Thanks for joining, a one and all, and I will catch you all later.
Clips, clips.
Wrong button.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive, I'm real, I know the enemy, and if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist! Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the Infowars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double barrel bullcrap, the double speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Keeps clear.